tatsächlich. Hi, wir sind live. Ja, tatsächlich. Ach Gott, jetzt muss ich noch wir sind live. Stream nochmal wegschicken. Immer dasselbe, ne? Wir sind live. Stream nochmal. Technik ist nicht so gut. Wir kriegen das aber hin, ne? Bis 19 Uhr haben wir noch ein bisschen Zeit. Ja, ich schaffe das schon. So, im Discord habe ich es gepostet. Jetzt muss ich nochmal... hier hin. Wartet. So. Facebooker. Da habe ich jetzt überall die falsche URL. Natürlich. Ja. Moment. Das kriegen wir hin. Bearbeiten. Zack. Besser, ne? Ich stelle das Mikrofon kurz weg. Bin gleich bei euch. So. Zack. OMG. Okay, ich hoffe, es funktioniert. Gut. So. Ich müsste jetzt eigentlich live in die Welt hinaus senden und ich müsste euch ja eigentlich im Chat sehen. Sagt mir mal, ob ihr da seid, ob ihr mich hören könnt. Ich mache auch mal einen Test. Wartet mal, ob der Ton läuft. So. Ich versuche mich mal chronologisch durchzueiern, sprich, das, was zuerst released wird, kommt auch zuerst. Und damit also L.A. Noire. Schon gerüchtet, dass es kommen wird, das war schon relativ sicher. Deswegen auch nicht so ein großer Aufreger, aber eigentlich ist ein... Geht gleich los. Ey, läuft alles noch nicht so richtig rund, ne? Jetzt. So, jetzt müsstet ihr mein Video von heute sehen. Mit Ton. Das ist der Test. Bei MoFun VR. Das war sie nun, die State of Play. Ja, der Tag danach. Ich wollte euch noch mal ein bisschen zusammenfassen, was da los war. Immerhin muss man sagen, also was da los war für VR-Enthusiasten, für PlayStation VR-Enthusiasten. Immerhin haben sie, ich habe wirklich jetzt noch mal nachgezählt. Jetzt sagt mal kurz, ob ihr den Videoton hören konntet. Läuft, okay. Mich könnt ihr auch hören. Ich glaube... Dann sind wir ungefähr bereit. Gruselig. Alright. Okay, dann mache ich mal eine Begrüßungsrunde. Also, der Kuni ist da. Hi, Monkey Freak. CFS Martin, der Freeze, die Honeymoon. Hamso, Lukas Seeger, Jörg Mangold. Die VR-Ecke, Mario Schmidt, Sven Ruland, 50LA. Grader MC1R. Bin kurz dabei, hab Arbeit. Oh. Krefelder, Pandora LP, Entschuldigung, so habe ich am anderen Stream den Daumen weggemacht und hier hin, sehr gut. Gamesucker, hi. Ja genau, so werde ich heimlich die Daumen runter schon mal los, ne? Schaut doch hier. Medium Passion schaut doch hier. Lukas Seger, Sound ist okay, alles klar. Dun. Honeymoon läuft. Bom, läuft. So, Kinder, 7 Minuten noch, ne? 50 sagt, heute das Video war gut. Dankeschön. Fantastisch. So, es sind alle da, sogar der Al-Burak. Und wir können hier langsam loslegen. Ich wollte noch so als Einstimmung, das hier ist die Seite, die wir gleich gucken werden, ne? Da läuft der Stream. Und ich wollte euch zeigen, was mich heute tatsächlich dann doch abgeholt hat, war diese Message hier, das hat der Affenpresser hat das gepostet, nämlich Zuckerberg hat irgendwas Schräges geteased. Ja, jemand hat gesagt, I'm still waiting for an RPG using Oculus, like Oasis, Ready Player One. Und Zuckerberg hat gesagt, dann wirst du tomorrow die Verlautbarung morgen ja sehr genießen. So, was ist da los? Macht Oculus jetzt aus dem Home endlich mal ein Riesending? What? Genau, und ich bin total scharf auf den Shooter von Respawn. Das sind die beiden Sachen, die mich echt total anzecken. Ich weiß nicht, wie es euch geht. Sagt mir das doch mal. Also, warte mal, ich bin selber vor der Nachricht, da steht sie, ne? Barmux ist auch da. Werden da nur PC-exklusive Games gezeigt? Fragt MC1a. Nee, es geht ja um Oculus, ne? Also im besten Fall gibt es für alles, was Oculus beinhaltet, News. Also die Quest ist ja natürlich drin und deren ganzes Ökosystem, ne? Oculus Rift, Rift S. Und selbstverständlich wird auch die Oculus Rift 2 vorgestellt und die Quest. Nee, die Dinger sind ja gerade erst rausgekommen. Also hardwaremäßig mache ich mir da keine Illusion. Würde mich extrem wundern. Wie gesagt, die ganze Hardware ist jetzt 3 Monate alt, die neue Hardware. Kann das sein? September, August, ja ungefähr. Ne? Und es wäre Irrsinn, wenn die irgendwas Neues schon anteasen. Ja? Damit machen sie sich ja selber den Markt kaputt. Also das kann ich mir nicht vorstellen, dass es da was gibt. Deswegen... Hey Ogni. Die Quest Pro. Ja, das ist lustig. Wir gucken einfach mal, ey. Also ganz, ganz entspannt bleiben. Ne? Ich versuche meine Erwartungen low zu halten wie gestern, aber ihr wisst ja, wie das läuft. Ne? Wir alle sind Enthusiasten und möchten natürlich geilen Scheiß hören. So, ich schalte schon immer um hier, 1855. Wir können auch mal gucken, der Sebastian macht nämlich auf seinem englischen Kanal auch einen Stream. Wir können mal heimlich gucken, was der da macht. Was denkt ihr? Genau. Alter, 447 Zuschauer. Not bad. Nicht schlecht, nicht schlecht. Warum ist er so gelb?
All the exciting news about all the VR future and AR news of Oculus. And Generation Z says, I'm hungry for VR. Me too. I'm so hungry for VR and I'm so hungry to hear
witzig.
what Oculus has in the works. So actually every year whenever the Oculus Connect started, every year when the Oculus Connect went down, there was like one announcement which kind of blew me away. And so I believe we are in for some surprises here. And hi Mo. Mo is also here watching Orange Sebastian talk in English and getting you guys a bit more excited for the Oculus Connect 6 keynote, which is going to go down in 3 minutes now. In 3 minutes. Let me have a look if something is already...
Ja, witzig, ey. So, Lakers auch gekommen. Lost in VR. Zu viele Karotten gegessen. Ja, ich weiß nicht, was mit dem los ist.
Going live in 2 minutes.
Oh, guck mal. Bei Sebastian werfen sie mit Geld. Leute, und heute kein Schnaps, sondern Pfefferminztee.
Oh yeah. So only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left before I'm going to switch over to Facebook, to Oculus Connect. Oculus Connect 6 and we're all going to watch this together. We're all going to
Wir könnten sonst auch die ganze Zeit hier zu gucken. Aber keine Ahnung. Ich will ja auch ein bisschen was sagen. Außerdem, ich glaube, so ist das nicht vorgesehen, ne?
Swedish crowns. And we got 10 euros. Wow.
So, mach doch mal die Hände hoch. Wie viele Leute... Ich schalte mal bei Sebastian den Ton ab. Wie viele Leute hier haben eine Oculus von uns jetzt? Ich weiß, einige mit der... Einige haben die Oculus. Quest natürlich. Ja, das scheint irgendwie so das Zweitgerät zu sein für PlayStation VR-Besitzer auch. Und ich glaube, ein paar von uns haben auch... Genau, Voodoo ist selber vor Ort. Sven hat eine Go sogar. Hey. Grader, Hand hoch, Mario Schmidt, Quest. Seit kurzem eine Quest, sagt Laker. Bin begeistert, ja. Ey, ich vermisse noch Hardcore Spark für die Quest, ne? Das wäre nochmal eine geile Ansage. Drücken wir mal die Daumen. Hamso hat eine Rift S, sehr schön. Ich habe ja gestern im Büro Racket NX gespielt und war echt hart am Überlegen, ob ich mir eine Cosmos hole, wegen diesem Wireless-Hörnchen, ne? Um auch bei PC VR kein Kabel mehr zu haben. Aber ehrlich gesagt, ich meine, nur für Racket NX wäre schon hart, ne? Das kann man halt natürlich auch auf der Quest gut spielen. Oh, guck mal, Medium Passion hat sogar 2 Quests. Sehr gut, kann in Stereo gucken. Ich finde es gut. So, Sebastian ist noch am Schnaggeln. Sehr schön. Oh ja, ich kriege auch Geld. Danke, Bastian. Sehr nett. Oh Leute, es passiert was. Wo passiert das? Wo passiert das? Ah, noch passiert nichts. Aber ganz geil, ne? Bei Sebastian heimlich zu gucken, wann es losgeht. Hallo Hot Tommy. Ah. Genau, aber Wuffel, es war tatsächlich auch mit meinem Front-Tracking auf der Rift ging es erstaunlich gut, ja. Ich habe mich ja ständig im Kreis gedreht. Oh, das funktionierte. Warum geht's hier nicht los? Komm schon. Jetzt geht's los, Leute.
If I could figure this out.
Just a little more realistic.
Yeah, okay, I see.
This doesn't work.
Ihr habt Ton, sehe ich. Okay.
What if we try to optimize the assets first? If we combine VR and immersive theater, we could.
What if I time slice the boat simulation?
If we could just shave 1 millisecond.
we could just
Ja, Armpresser, bis pünktlich geht gerade los.
What if we could get the details so
Dicker Next, das auf beiden Streams. Sehr gut. Soll ich das Bild mal noch größer machen? So.
No? Alright.
Hey everyone,
Zuckerberg.
welcome to OC6. We have a lot of awesome stuff to go through and show you all today. But first, I wanted to start off by, I've been saying for a while that we think that augmented and virtual reality are going to be the next major computing platform. And I just wanted to start off by talking for a little bit about why. Back even before I started Facebook, when I was still in college, I was studying psychology and computer science, right? Because for a lot of us here, it's not just about building technology. It's about building technology that works the way that we do. And the first thing that you learn in Psychology 101 is you go through the anatomy of the brain, and you start learning just how much our brains have evolved and how most of them is really about connecting and communicating with other people. And so we have the language centers that almost no other animal has. You have the visual cortex, where we're especially dialed in to to understanding people's emotions, right? If you're talking to someone and they move their eyebrow a millimeter or their cheek a little bit, you're going to notice because that means a completely different thing, whereas if something moves over there, you're probably not even going to pay attention. We have our mirror neurons that when we're interacting with another person, we understand what's going on in them and inside of us. So we experience the world through this feeling of presence and the interactions that we get with other people, which is why Facebook's technology vision has always been about putting people at the center of your computing experience. And we've mostly done that so far through building apps. And I don't think it's an accident that a lot of the top used and biggest apps that are out there are social experiences that put people at the center of the experience, because that's how we process things. But there's only so much that you can do with apps, right? Without also shaping and improving the underlying platform. And I find it shocking that we're here in 2019 and our phones and our computers are still organized around apps and tasks and not people and the things that we're actually there present with. So, I feel like we can help all of us together deliver a unique contribution to this field by helping to ensure that the next platform changes this. And the defining aspect of augmented and virtual reality is that they deliver this sense of presence, or that no other technology platform before has ever delivered. You feel like you're right there with another person or in another place. And now, sure, we have a lot of work to do before we're going to get to that perfect form factor that we all want. But you can already see glimpses today of how the devices that we're all working on are helping to deliver a feeling where we are more present with the people that we're interacting with there, not less, like a lot of the other platforms that are out there today. So longer term, and I think that this is going to add up to a lot of really big changes. We're going to be able to live anywhere that we want and be able to feel like we're present with the people and the jobs and opportunities that we want to have access to anywhere we want. So that's why I'm so excited about this. And I know that a lot of you are working on this because you're excited about similar things, and it's awesome.
Ich habe mich ja gewundert, gestern auf der Pimax Live-Geschichte, da waren gerade mal 900 Leute, ne? Fand ich gar nicht so viel.
We need to do a couple of things. The first is we need to build a lot of technology that's going to help advance and deliver this feeling of presence.
The second thing we need to do is build an ecosystem
of all the experiences that need to be delivered here. So on the ecosystem side, the first step that we need to reach is reaching critical mass in the community. And once we get to a certain size in the community, it's going to become economical for all developers, from the independent folks up to the
das Verhältnis 1:10 von International zu deutschsprachigen
once we reach that point, the amount of content is just going to explode.
Guck mal, Oculus selber gucken gerade 3.800 Leute zu. Ja? Und steigende Zahlen.
In getting there, Quest is off to a great start. It's only been on sale for about 4 months now, and we are selling them as fast as we can make them. But even more importantly, though, is that retention is good. Right? So people are using it week after week after week, which is a great signal for how the content ecosystem is getting stronger, and VR is becoming something that more people are stepping in and out of on a day-to-day basis, rather than this kind of one-off special experience that you need all this different equipment for, and you need to dedicate a whole room in your house to. So these are all really good signs. And to get to critical mass, we're focused on building forward compatibility into all the new devices that we build, so that all the content that you're all making just works across everything now and going forward. So the goal is that if you develop something for Quest today, then our goal is to make it work on all future Quests as well. And that means that when you buy a Quest, that you're not just buying something that's going to be locked in time, that as all the new content is built for the future, it's going to get better. And also as we deliver major software updates, the platform is also just going to dramatically improve. And that's going to be a big theme of what we want to talk about today. But of course, the biggest part of this depends on all the awesome stuff that you're building. So we need to build an ecosystem that supports all of you, which is why I am proud to share the news that as of today, people have bought more than $100 million of content in the Oculus store. And
nicht schlecht. Ich war auch einer davon.
And since Quest came out just several months ago, more than 20% of that is from Quest already and growing really quickly. So I just want to take a moment at the start of this conference to thank all of you who are really the ones who are pushing this ecosystem and community forward. So thank you, guys. All right, so the experiences that you're all building for Rift are as good as it gets in VR. But right now, when you build something for Rift, that library of content isn't available to people who are on Quest. So we've been looking at what we can do here. And we want to, so the first thing that we want to announce today is we've been looking at how we can make this possible. So we've made a major software update, and we have a new product that we're calling Oculus Link that is going to make it so that if you have a gaming PC and a USB-C cable, you're now going to be able to run all the Rift content on your Quest.
Alter. Nicht schlecht, nicht schlecht. Da ist er, da ist er. Krass. Okay. Das ist jetzt interessant, Leute.
So this means that starting in November, when we ship this update, your Quest is basically a Rift now too. So.
Das ist aber krass, dass sie das jetzt tatsächlich machen.
With most USB-C cables that are out there. So, you don't have to buy ours, but we've also designed a dedicated cable that's going to maximize the throughput here. It's going to charge your Quest
if your PC supports that too,
and it's long enough that it makes sure that it provides you with maximum flexibility and freedom of movement. But you're going to want to check this out. We're shipping it in November, and we're really excited to get this out there. So that's one major software update that we wanted to talk about.
Aber das ist echt schräg, ey. Damit kannibalisieren sie sich doch die Rift S total.
So a lot of the technologies that we're working on here are foundational, not just for virtual reality, but also for the future of what we want to do with augmented reality.
Es scheint mit einem USB-C-Kabel zu sein,
ne? One of the really foundational things that we feel like we want to improve and make a lot better is input. Because in the future, you're going to be able to interact with digital objects with your hands, or just as naturally as you can with physical objects in the world. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you remember the first time that you tried out touch controllers, right? And how awesome it was. You were just able to look down in virtual reality and reach out and grab something or throw it and do something with it. And it really just added this whole element to the experience.
Also sehr geil. Hätten sie auch gerne von Anfang an machen können. Ne?
It immediately opened up this bigger question, which is, okay, how can we do even better? How can we make it so that instead of having to use hand controllers, we can just use our hands?
Guck mal, jetzt kommt vielleicht auch noch Hand-Tracking.
Here, we're launching hand tracking on Quest.
Alter Schwede, ey, die tun hier richtig raus. Also das finde ich sehr beeindruckend.
All right, want to see it? Let's check this out.
Also wow, das beeindruckt mich wirklich, was die da gerade machen. Das ist ja Fanservice vom Feinsten, ne? Und vor allen Dingen, für uns blöde VR-Nerds sind die Controller natürlich okay, ne? Aber jeder, dem der das aufsetzt, der einfach seine Hände benutzen kann, da werden die Leute sagen, wow, ohne Scheiß. So krass. Bin mal gespannt, wie präzise sowas ist.
Alright.
Wow, also echt heißer Scheiß, Leute.
So this means no controllers, no buttons, no straps, no external sensors, just full range of motion in your hands. And even if you've spent a lot of time in VR and you've spent a lot of time with touch controllers, I think that the first time that you get a chance to experience this and you just wiggle your fingers and you see that full range of motion in your hands, it takes the experience to a whole new level. And you're going to get a chance to try this out on the demo floor after the keynote today. So I'm really excited to get this into all of your hands. So, this is what I mean when I talk about building a platform that improves over time. Right, 6 months ago, if you wanted to get into VR, you needed a PC, cables, sensors, hand controllers, and half a dozen physical objects. And now, soon, it's just going to be a headset that you can bring with you anywhere that you go.
Ich habe tatsächlich meine Yoga-Lehrerin gefragt, ob ich auch morgen kommen kann.
So, there's a lot of work that we still need to do to get to where we all want. But I think what you're starting to see is the hardware is getting out of the way. And with each step, we're getting to a more immersive and natural experience.
Und von wegen eine Stunde labern, die legen ja richtig los. Wow.
Bin echt. Because hand tracking is great. It doesn't require controllers, but it still requires you to use your hands. And in the future, we want to get to an input where we can just think something and it happens. So what people call a neural interface.
Yoga ist für alte Männer, die vom Computer sitzen, Rückenprobleme bekommen.
Will be joining us.
Ist gut.
And they're the leading team working on neural interfaces. They have a lot of the best researchers, computational neuroscientists, and more. And they're working on a wristband, right? And it picks up electrical impulses that are sent through your nervous system and turns them into digital signals that you can use as input. In virtual and augmented reality. And it's completely non-invasive, right? There's no surgery, no implants. You don't have to get holes drilled in your head. It's just a wristband. And so it gives you the sensation of being able to interact with digital objects just by thinking. And this is clearly early, right? It's gonna be a number of years before this gets into any of the products that we're shipping, but it works. And they have a dev kit that they're shipping.
Guckt euch mal die Box an, die hinter ihm steht. Die sieht aus wie so eine ganz, ganz kleine PlayStation. Wie heißt die kleine? Wie heißt denn die? PlayStation Small? Ich weiß es gar nicht. Aber eine Scheibe zu viel.
Computing platform, and I'm really excited about this one. So I just wanted to talk about it for a few minutes today.
Slim.
All right. So the
PlayStation
last
Slim.
thing that I want to talk about up front today is delivering a social experience in VR. Right. So. I talked about for a while how our technology vision is putting people at the center of the computing experience. And a big part of how we do this is by building technology that advances the feeling of presence, right? So more immersive, getting the hardware out of the way, better and natural, more UI, better, more realistic avatars, which we'll talk about later. So that's one part of it. The other part is basically building the software experiences that put people at the center of the experience.
So, jetzt kommt die Oasis, Leute.
That's kind of our bread and butter as a company, right? We build a lot of the best social experiences for phones and for computers, and we want to do this in virtual reality as well. So great social experiences usually aren't just a place where you interact, right? They give you the ability to define the space around you, and so we've been working on something that does this in virtual reality. It's kind of a virtual reality take on this.
Ja, ich weiß leider nicht, warum der Ton versetzt ist. Also in dem Browserfenster ist es noch richtig, aber das, was ich hier hinter mir habe, leider nicht. Da gibt es wohl einen kleinen Versatz. Facebook Horizons, Leute.
In Horizon, you are going to be able to build your own worlds and
Oasis.
You're going to be able to play games. You're going to be able to explore. You're going to be able to hang out with your friends and, of course, meet new people.
Oder übersetzt, das ist Dreams für Oculus.
Their own spaces and experiences within it. Horizon is going to have this property where it just grows and expands and gets better and better over time as we focus on building this out for many years to come. So let's take a look at this.
Ich bin echt beeindruckt, Leute. Die machen alles, was wir uns wünschen, oder?
And it's right here, on my face. Welcome. This is Horizon. Think of me as your guide / self-appointed spokes avatar, here to show you around. Horizon is filled with possibilities. You can play stuff, make stuff, fly stuff. Whoa! Really love the stash, Stuart.
What up, Stuart?
Wait, I want a mustache. Horizon isn't about rules or limits or pants or people telling you not to fly an airplane while drinking your fresh ground, fair trade, French press morning coffee through a curly straw. Isn't that right, Debbie? Mm-hmm. It's about getting out there and trying new things, making your mark, making friends with an Australian named Mark.
Oh, actually, I'm from New Zealand. Yeah.
And you can even build a world of your own, like laser tag moon landing.
Entschuldigung.
Or this islandy place with these cutie patooties. Boop. In Horizon, the world is your lobster.
Isn't it oyster?
That too. So come, join us. A never-ending, ever-changing world beyond your world is waiting! Woo! Debbie gets it!
Okay, das ist die Antwort. Wir haben alle uns gewundert, was dann mit dem Social Spaces los ist, die Oculus vorhat.
Horizon to be a welcoming and inclusive community from day one. A lot of the social tools that power it are the same ones that we built over the years to power Facebook and Instagram as well. There's a whole range of expressive and diverse avatars to get us started. And the best part is that the creator experience is built right into VR. So you don't need to be able to code in order to create something, although that can certainly help in building some of the more advanced things. You don't need to take off your headset in order to make something. You can make
Emon
some
fragt, kann man
really
mit der
neat
Quest
stuff in just a
PC
couple of
spielen?
hours if you want.
Ja,
You can invite your
das kommt
friends
jetzt.
in and have
Kannst
experiences
die
and hang
Quest
out with them right
an
there.
PC anschließen.
So this is early. But this is another step towards building
Ab jetzt
the kind
aber
of
offiziell von
social
Oculus.
infrastructure that we believe is going to be important in the future. So you should be able to hang out with your friends, join groups, create events, share ideas in VR, just like you can online. And of course, now you're going to be able to do it with that added feeling of presence, like you're right there with the people
Sie haben eine
you're
Lösung
talking
mit
about that no
Kabel.
other technology
Mal gucken.
platform that has existed before delivers. So we are launching this next year. We're putting the finishing touches on it now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you all do with it. So.
Mit Kabelwuffel. Aber ich könnte mir vorstellen, dass sie früher oder später. Also der Witz ist ja, dass sie sozusagen das überhaupt ermöglichen. Ich glaube spätestens mit der Oculus Quest 2 ist es dann kabellos auch. Naja, hab mich auch gewundert. Genau, die kannibalisieren natürlich die Rift S damit, ne? Ja, ist schon komisch.
And we showed an early demo of the Crescent Bay technology, which of course went on to become the Oculus.
Die Rift S ist
and a couple of years later,
theoretisch noch ein bisschen besser, was das Display angeht, finde ich zumindest. Aber es ist natürlich auch Geschmackssache. Und sie hat das bequemere Headstrap.
And we're shipping a hand tracking on a wireless headset that costs $399 that fits in a shoebox and you can take it anywhere that you want. And our community here is well on the way to building a strong ecosystem with all of the content and awesome stuff that you guys are all building. So this is going to be the next computing platform. And it's only going to get more exciting and awesome and important from here. And this is one of the areas where I am just so grateful to have a chance to be on this journey with all of you. So I hope you have a great rest of this Connect, and I hope you enjoy everything else we're going to show you. And now I'm going to hand it off to Boz, who leads all of the augmented and virtual reality efforts at Facebook. All right, have a great day.
Also ich sehe es so, in der nächsten Generation wird dann alles kabellos sein und du hast ein Headset für Mobil und für PC.
What makes virtual reality powerful? It lets you suspend physics. There are things you can do in the headset that you can accomplish no other way. You see this power in games, in media, in business, but Facebook's ambitions are far greater than that. We are building a future that allows you to defy distance. Because we know that physical distance can translate into emotional distance. And we ask, what is it that allows people to feel close to each other? 3 social psychologists took on that question and produced the Relationship Closeness Inventory, which suggests that there are 3 dimensions to closeness. first is the frequency of your interactions. Just
Muss ich auch
how
sagen. Also ich
often
bin
you
gerade
interact with
sehr
people.
beeindruckt.
Then there's the diversity of your interactions, how many different types of things you do together. And then finally, there's the strength of your interactions, which is how much does someone influence your
Aber wundert mich, dass sie dann das nicht
Every
sofort
single
gemacht
one of
haben.
these
Ne?
dimensions
Anstatt die Rift
is
S
easier
rauszubringen,
if
einfach
you're physically near someone.
das Ding mit Kabel am
But we have
Computer.
demands on our lives
Komisch.
that sometimes separate us from a few miles, and sometimes they separate us by continents. And VR could be the tool that erases those miles. Let's start with frequency. It's pretty straightforward. If you're not physically near someone, it is harder to connect with them very often. And it's easy to see how VR could help. You could both teleport to the same place.
Also bei einem bin ich ziemlich
as
sicher,
often as
was
you
auch immer
like, no
Sony
matter where you
raushaut,
are in the physical world.
wird das alles dabei
And
haben.
the same things that prevent you from being
Und
physically
auch PlayStation Home
together
wird es geben für die
also
nächste
limit the
Version.
range of activities you can engage in together. Phone calls and text messaging are great, but there's not a lot of variety.
Und wenn
in
nicht, dann ziehen wir halt
interaction
komplett um. Huh?
Meanwhile, in virtual reality, you can have a much greater diversity of experiences than you could have even if you were physically together. Our library already
Ja, Mike,
has
aber
more than
strange ist es
1,000
schon,
different
ne? Ich meine,
experiences people can engage in.
die Leute, die sich
Right?
jetzt
Because
gerade
all of
eine
you, people
Rift
can
S
have fun
gekauft
together
haben,
no
die
matter where
gucken
they are
natürlich
in
ein
the
bisschen
world.
blöd aus der Wäsche.
They can create art, they can defeat enemies. You know, my personal favorite, they can dance.
Ich hätte es ehrlich
World's
gesagt
smallest
konsequenter
dance, just there,
gefunden,
you saw
wenn sie
it.
das erst in der nächsten Generation gemacht hätten. Ja?
So the final area of relationship closeness is strength. And I have moments in my life with people that I care about where just being physically present with them is enough. That kind of relationship is hard to sustain over distance. With VR, this kind of intimacy doesn't have to be bound by time zone. You know, while we can maybe just glimpse it today, I'm convinced that in the future, this kind of profound presence with the people we care the most about should be possible in VR.
Hey, super Texte.
So overall, I would say, while we get a sense of human closeness in VR today,
Immer, und sie haben nicht viel
we don't
gesagt. Sie haben
experience it
gesagt,
nearly
es gibt
often enough,
etwas namens
and it's just a glimmer of what
Questlink,
it should be.
haben
talk
ein
about the
Kabel
work it's gonna
gezeigt,
take
ein
to get there.
USB-C-Kabel, was hier seitlich in der Quest steckte. Und das schließt
So
man am
when it
PC
comes
an
to
und kann
frequency,
man
this is actually pretty straightforward. We just
die
need
Oculus
more people to
PC-Sachen
have
auf der Quest
access to
spielen. Das
VR.
war alles, was sie gesagt haben
And
zu
we're
dem
working on
Thema.
that. We're building better VR headsets. You know, we're already working on
Es
headsets
kommt
that have better
im
displays,
November, wenn
better
ich mich nicht
optics,
täusche.
better compute, all to make it more comfortable and more immersive and more inviting for people to get a headset and put it on. We also need to give people more reasons to put the headset on, and that gets towards the diversity. You know, we have some amazing titles in our catalog and more to come, but our categories are still far too narrow. And then when it comes to strength, we have to continue to pursue
Die
our
Rift
vision
S,
of
finde ich auch,
presence.
hat massiv bessere
Actually, getting
Displays als die
hands in
Quest.
the headset is a pretty good first step. Our avatars continue to make progress, but they're still not nearly expressive enough. And these are all just the building blocks we need to make VR a tool
Geld
to
verdienen im
enable
Internet,
greater human connection.
Ich mache nicht viel mit
When I
Videos
think about the
schneiden, ich
future
mache
we're
halt
building toward,
3D-Grafik,
I think a little bit about the
aber ich schneide
relationship I
viele
have with
Videos
my
für
dad.
diesen Kanal hier
Now,
mit dem
I'm a big
iMac.
Warriors fan, and I'm only a Warriors fan or even a basketball fan
Leni,
because
ja,
of how much I enjoy
Handtracking
watching
wird es
games
für
with
die
my
ganz
father,
normale Quest geben.
who is reliably wearing a tie-dyed shirt. Now, VR makes it possible for my dad to invite me over to watch a game. You know, to teleport into his living room
Haben sie nicht gesagt,
and sit together on
wann
his
dieses
couch,
Horizon
just
kommt,
like we've always
die
done.
Oasis.
When you rise, you'll be all grown. You ride the waves out into the sun.
Excuse me one second.
On the minds of
Hey, Dad.
Hey,
I'm actually working right now.
I'm just about to watch the game. I want you here. Andrew, I miss you. Come on, huh?
Well, look, I mean, I miss you too, Dad, but, you know, I'm at work right now.
If you love me, you'd meet me here. I'll see you at home.
Was ist denn das?
One second.
give you what you give to me. With twice your weight in luxury.
Found a nice place in Portland. Thompson for three.
Yeah, boy, you're good to know.
You know, you really can't miss the Warriors. Clay's like an artist. He is a Picasso. He's better than Picasso.
Man, you know better than to get me started on Clay, because I will talk all day about that artistry.
Can you get beers here? You know, like an IPA or something?
We're still a couple years away from having beers in the headsets, Dad.
Ist das so eine Art AR? Lustig?
Now, it isn't the
Ich verstehe
same
es
as
gerade nicht.
being there, but I tell you, that might be the next best thing. That is a really accurate representation of what it's like to watch a game with my dad, except there'd be a lot more complaints about traveling. So I want all of us to be able to have that experience in VR, things that we care about with the people that we care about. And this is one of the demos that you'll be able to try out later on the show floor, being in a space that's been reconstructed with someone else. So we know that VR has the power to bring us closer together. It is and will remain the most powerful way.
Ich glaube nicht, dass die schnell den Raum scannt, Affenpresse. Ich weiß nicht, was sie uns da zeigen
Even
wollten.
VR has its limits. There are scenarios where people will struggle to connect in VR. Look at all of us. We're here in the same room. If we all had VR headsets on, that could be a little antisocial. Or consider the scenario with my dad. But let's add one little twist. Let's say my friend has joined me and wants to watch the Warriors game with us. But he's physically sitting right next to me.
Das war sein echter Vater?
Well, it's true. He could put a headset on and join us in VR, but then we're sacrificing the richness of actually being together, and that doesn't feel great. So we ask ourselves, what can a technology like augmented reality do to help us feel closer?
Hi, Hinterhallo.
Today, our interactions with our phones split our attention. We cannot look at our phones without looking away from the world around us. But augmented reality could make it possible to connect with the people who are near us and far from us at the same time. And through AR, there will be an infinite, diverse expanse of things for people to do and to see, synchronous shared experiences that can deepen relationships. AR will also let you connect with people no matter where they are, even if you're walking down the street.
Leica hat recht.
Something
Daumen
that's
nicht
very,
vergessen.
very hard to do in virtual reality. To get to this future,
Hallo Game, Hits.
we
Wir
are
haben doch schon
building
Hallo gesagt.
AR
oder?
glasses.
122 Zuschauer,
Now, we
nicht
have a
schlecht,
few
Leute.
working
Das ist
prototypes.
genauso viel wie gestern, glaube ich. Ne?
But these are still a few years out. So in the meantime, we're focusing on the deep tech stack necessary to bring these to life. Today, Spark AR is the largest augmented reality platform for the phone. And we're working on deepening the technology to bridge the physical and digital divides. At Facebook Reality Labs, our research teams are starting to build the core infrastructure that will underpin tomorrow's AR experiences. We call this research Live Maps. It's a shared virtual map of the world that involves machine perception, computer vision, and a bunch of core technologies in software and hardware that will also be important for virtual reality. Now, what does this research look like? Imagine the same reconstruction I did with my dad, where we were sitting in a room together, but this time at planet scale. Rather than reconstructing your surroundings in real time, the glasses are going to tap into pre-existing 3D maps of the space.
Guck mal den Chat bei Sebastian.
Avatars come into play
Achso,
here
nee, der hat
too.
nur nachgeladen.
With a 3D
Okay.
space, avatars could teleport anywhere in the world. You'll also be able to search and share information about the real world just as easily
Krass,
as
krass.
you can the online world today. And a powerful assistant can bring you information that you need in an instant. At its core, technology like this and on this scale will rely on crowdsourced information captured by connected devices. Here's a closer look.
Zeigen Sie jetzt die AR-Brille von Oculus?
The world around us is
Von Facebook?
constantly in motion. We need a new kind of map to help navigate this ever-changing landscape. A map like this is about more than just moving through the physical world. It's about enhancing the way we interact with each other and our surroundings. The vision of our Live Maps research is to bridge the physical and virtual divide to bring people closer together. To achieve this, Live Maps uses machine perception to construct multi-layer representations of the world, showing where you are in space, recognizing what things look like, and understanding the intrinsic meaning of objects. Connected devices, like smartphones and AR glasses, will scan the surroundings to create a live dynamic index, amplified by crowdsourced data, allowing the maps to recognize when things have changed and update automatically. Ultimately, our Live Maps research aims to empower people to connect and share in deeper, more meaningful ways. Whether it's improving how we access information, or understanding the context of a situation. To deliver shared experiences through augmented reality, or proactively serving up relevant information in highly personalized ways. Live maps will one day transform how we all engage with the world, making it feel more immediate, more intuitive, more natural, more human.
Also da saß eben auch gerade ein Hologramm bei denen am Tisch. Jetzt müssen wir noch die Kontaktlinsen zeigen, die das möglich machen.
We're exploring today how the world will be experienced tomorrow. So all of these technologies are being built to help people feel closer. We're building new VR headsets. We're building immersive experiences. We are building AR glasses, all to enable more frequent, more diverse, and stronger connections, to enable closeness. And with that, I'd like to introduce Stephanie Liu to the stage to share more about how we're building the best VR platform. Thank you.
I can't wait to see what the future of AR and VR holds.
Ich dachte, die fängt an zu rappen eben. Das fing so an.
Over the years, we've been working non-stop to enable a sustainable ecosystem for you, our developers, and our users. Our VR headsets form the core of our ecosystem. Go is great for entertainment, while Rift S continues to unlock the most rich, immersive experiences. And Quest? What can I say? Quest is changing the game. You simply can't beat this combination of content, form factor, and price. We want to double down and unlock the hardware's true potential through our software innovations. So today, I'll share some updates that we've made to our core experiences, along with improvements to our software, to our development features and tools. And finally, I'll talk about how we're pushing the bounds of what's possible in VR. Let's take a look.
Also, sie zeigen jetzt, wie man die Barrieren von VR noch erweitert.
Including more Guardian settings, casting support for Beat Saber, and the ability to launch apps straight from your phone so you can help guide a friend while they check out your Quest. And that's just to name a few. We're not stopping there. We've got a ton of new stuff in the works, including one that's been one of your favorites on Rift S. I'm excited to share that an upgraded version of Pass-Through Plus will be available for Quest users
Auf der Rift S kann man
next week.
einfach Pass-Through jederzeit an- und ausschalten. Bin gespannt. Ich finde es wirklich krass, Leute, was die hier heute erzählen.
Of your surroundings while you're wearing the headset. And it's useful for any time you step outside your play space. To make this possible on Quest, we've applied techniques from high-performance image processing and advanced 3D computation, resulting in a similar visual quality to what you'll see on Rift S.
Ich übersetze mal. Sie werden Stühle verbiegen.
Better, with Pass-Through on Demand shipping later this year, you can pull up Pass-Through Plus at any time. So the next time you hear your friend trying to steal your pizza off the kitchen counter,
genau, das macht nämlich die Rift S auch schon. Das fand ich super. Kannst ihn jederzeit einschalten.
In Fruit Ninja. Time and again, we've heard the community ask for this next feature. Oculus Go has been an entry point to VR for many people who then upgraded to Quest. We've heard from these VR fans and developers alike that there are tons of amazing Go apps that you'd love to experience on Quest. I'm pleased to announce that we're bringing
mal gucken,
a bunch of really
Black
popular
Friday,
Oculus Go apps
da könnten noch einige Quests über den Ladentisch gehen.
And there's more. We're also offering free upgrades. So owners of paid Go apps can get the
Oculus
Quest
Go
version
apps.
if it already
Geil.
exists.
Auch nicht schlecht.
If you own, say, Thumper on Go but never got around to buying it on Quest, between now and the end of the year, we'll upgrade you for free. And starting next week, there will be more than 50 of the most popular Oculus Go apps available to Quest users. So that's some pretty cool
Geil,
stuff,
ich habe
right?
eine App, die ich auf der
Now
Go
let's talk about
richtig
some new
geil
tools
finde.
for you, our dev community.
Ja, ich
We
freue
want to
mich.
make it easier for you to develop amazing experiences, promote them for people to discover, and connect to more customers. You've shown that it's possible to build high-quality, performant VR apps in a mobile chipset, and we are committed to making it easier by giving you more tools to profile and debug.
Aber jetzt haben sie es offiziell
We've
gesagt, ne? Also
contributed
ja,
to
es war schon
RenderDoc, the
gerüchtet.
open source frame debugger, so that it supports all of our extensions and uses less RAM. This means it will run more smoothly on Quest. We're also improving RenderDoc to report out more performance data. And later this year, we'll be enhancing our OVR metrics tool so you can see more metrics right in the headset while your application is running. Or you can view on a computer and save the information for later. We've also added support for Vulkan multi-view and fixed foveated rendering in our platform and in Unreal Engine. This can boost performance significantly. And later this year, we'll expand our Vulkan support to include on Quest to include Unity and Vulkan validation layers for easier debugging. And speaking of Unity, you may have seen that we've recently enabled Unity's GPU profiler on Quest and Go. We're also working with Qualcomm to develop a low-level GPU profiling API. This will give you more detailed information to increase accuracy in pinpointing and resolving performance issues. Now, with all of this, our goal is to make it easier and faster for you to create the next generation of VR experiences. And once you've built an app, we want to help you more effectively reach your audience and understand how your app is performing. That's why, later this fall, we'll be adding purchase funnel metrics into our developer analytics dashboard. We're providing you new metrics on Quest to help you understand how your app is performing in the store. You'll be able to explore the dashboard to view conversions, as well as metrics related to browsing, searching, and engagement with your product detail page.
Genau genommen kannst du jetzt Spark auf der Quest spielen mit dem Link-Kabel.
So you can test, refine, and improve. Another great way to promote your app. Mixed reality capture for
Das Gute ist, je mehr die machen für die Quest, je mehr sie es verkauft, desto wahrscheinlicher ist eine Spark-Version
It's an awesome
für
way
die
to force
Quest.
multiply your marketing efforts for your apps and get people really excited about VR. Yeah, you can clap for that.
Meine Nase jetzt.
We recently shipped the ability for you, our developers, to create these mixed reality videos. It's already supported in our Unity and Unreal integrations. And later this fall, we'll be adding native support, along with a tool to make it just as easy for content creators to be producing these mixed reality videos. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. We're also working on features that are good for customers and for you by giving you the flexibility to reach and connect to a wider audience no matter what device you build on. You heard Mark talk about how we'll open up the ability to play Rift apps on Quest later this year. This is especially great for Rift developers who've been with us since the very beginning. Your reach extends when more people can access the content that you've created. It means you can build high-end PC experiences and also take advantage of the biggest possible market.
Okay, bei knapp unter 2000 hat er auch sein Limit erreicht.
Will have access to the deep library of stellar Rift content. They'll have the best of both worlds. The best games from Rift when connected to a PC and the portability of a
Und
Quest.
wir sind 124.
And now, PC gamers who are deciding between Rift or Quest have even more options.
Ja, ich bin gespannt.
Remote rendering is fantastic
bin ja
for
nicht so
development too.
ein Bodycam
You can iterate more quickly
Junkie.
by running on a PC while streaming the output to your Quest.
Aber wenn man da so richtig
Simply
drin
hit
ist
the
in
play
dem Zeug,
button
das
for
ist
the
schon
Unity
witzig
or
dann,
Unreal
finde ich.
Oculus plugin, and you'll be able to preview right on the
weiß noch nicht.
device. No need to compile and transfer new APK first.
Werden wir erfahren.
This is, yeah, I know. I'm excited about it. It's development at PC speed for a mobile device. And beyond what we're shipping today, we're also imagining, innovating, and building things for the future. Things like hand tracking, which will revolutionize input for VR. This is going to be a game changer. It will unlock new and intuitive interactions in your apps like never before. And we've all seen how truly magical it is when the hardware melts away and you can interact naturally in VR. We've pushed on engineering boundaries to unlock this capability that was on Quest that was previously thought to be impossible. And we're doing it just a few short months after Quest launched. Let's take a look at the computer vision magic
Also das einzige Merkwürdige ist, dass wirklich der Connect hier
Our hand tracking
ist nicht
team
so
has
wahnsinnig
developed
stabil,
state-of-the-art
ne?
methods
Wenn
of
hier jetzt
applying
immer ein
deep
Kabel
learning to
runterhängt.
understand the location
Mal gucken, aber da
and
gibt es
pose of
bestimmt
your
irgendwelche
hands using
Lösungen
just the
für, dass man das
onboard
so
Quest cameras.
hinterm Kopf lang
No need for
gleitet oder
additional
so.
cameras, active depth sensors, or extra processors. Instead, we use model-based tracking and deep neural networks to accurately infer where your hands are and what they're doing, including exactly what your fingers are doing. And then we reconstruct those poses nearly instantly into VR. We're doing all of this in a mobile processor without compromising CPU or GPU. And we're also using our inclusive AI frameworks to test hand tracking for a wide range
Also das
of
ganze
people
Handtracking,
and
sagt sie, verbraucht so gut wie keine
Early next year,
CPU und
we'll release a beta for
GPU-Zeit,
Quest users.
Performance
And
von der
we'll ship
Quest.
an SDK
Ich weiß
so
nicht,
that
wie sie
you
das
can start
machen.
unlocking these new interaction mechanics in your apps.
Echt beeindruckend. Respekt.
With incredible software innovations like hand tracking and an ever-growing ecosystem of people hungry for more VR experiences, we are just getting started, and we're so excited that you're with us. I can't wait to see what we'll build together. Now, to talk about how we're building our platform to be social at the core.
Das Kabel sah genauso aus wie das
Here's
Ladekabel,
Megan
ne?
Fitzgerald.
Mit so einem L-förmigen Stecker. Also, ich weiß nicht, das ist jetzt nichts, mit dem ich groß rumturnen würde, wenn ich ehrlich sein soll. Ich bin mal gespannt.
We all know that VR can enable meaningful connections, but there's still a ways to go until it's as easy, seamless, and fun as it should be to find and form communities in VR. To get there, we need to enable more ways for communities to form and grow, and more things for them to do and share. We think about this in 3 ways. First, social interaction should be possible across everything in VR. So we're building social features that let people connect, communicate, and share. Next, people need places to go and things to do. So we're building dedicated social places where you can meet people and find great new experiences. And finally, creators, builders, and community leaders need the tools to invent
Ich finde es voll krass. Ich bin ja wegen ganz anderer Sachen neugierig gewesen und das hier finde ich alles auch ziemlich cool.
Be empowered to connect, create, and expand. And we want to do all of this at the scale of Facebook. So starting later this year, we will begin to roll out a completely new social layer across the Oculus platform powered by Facebook. You'll see some changes in how social features work on the platform. You'll log in with your Facebook account to use the social features Facebook is known for while using your Oculus identity. This is going to enable a lot of new ways to connect on the Oculus platform. We're adding chats, so you can message your Oculus friends in or out of the headset. And we're adding events, so you can organize a tournament to play Racket NX with your friends. And we're adding the ability to post to Facebook from VR, so you can share your favorite moments with your VR communities and groups.
Hier das Bild, Racket NX.
We plan to power more and more of our social infrastructure with Facebook to realize our vision of a socially connected VR ecosystem. For the people who choose to log in with Facebook, we'll continue to add new ways to find and meet people, so it's as easy to connect with others as it is in the physical world. And for developers, this new connection with Facebook supercharges discovery of your app or game by creating more surfaces where people can engage. With all of these new places to connect, we want to work with you to give people even more ways to discover your app. So today, I'm excited to announce destinations and rich presence for developers. Destinations let you define deep links into places in your app that can be surfaced across the Oculus platform. And once you've defined your destinations, Rich Presence lets people share when they are in those places, so their friends can easily join them. Starting next month, people will be able to see their friends' Rich Presence locations across the Oculus headset and in the Oculus mobile app. And of course, there is a privacy setting, so people can control what they share. Over the coming months, we'll add the abilities for developers to broadcast destinations across more places in the platform, and places where people can share their rich presence locations on even more surfaces, including Messenger and Facebook. And with these deep links, people can remote launch a specific VR destination from their laptop or mobile phone. It's like a portal that takes friends directly to each other. All of this improves discovery of your app through social word of mouth. But now, let's talk about the destinations we're building.
Ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob ich gerade so richtig schnalle, was sie erzählt.
Creators within those places. One thing we know people love to do in VR is watch media. Just look at Oculus Go. It's become a top product for immersive entertainment. But we know our media is not always easy to find. And when you find what you want to watch in VR, it's not always obvious how to invite friends to co-watch with you.
Hallo, was ist dieses Oculus Connect 6? Fragt Wilhelm.
So later this year,
Wilhelm, das
we're
ist
making some major updates to Oculus TV on Oculus Quest and Go.
eine Veranstaltung
The
von
updated
Oculus,
Oculus TV
ja,
will
wo
be the
jetzt
go-to hub
News
for all media on the
zu
platform.
Oculus erzählt
There will be
werden.
one place to discover content of all kinds, from your favorite media apps like Fandango Now to Prime Video VR, as well as immersive experiences like the Emmy-nominated Traveling While Black and 360 videos from top creators.
Eine Keynote, ja. Eine Keynote wie von Apple. Sehr, sehr gut erklärt. Also die Veranstaltung, die Oculus Connect, da passiert noch mehr. Aber das hier ist die Keynote, die erste Veranstaltung, wo sehr viele Neuigkeiten erzählt werden. Ne? Die Connect selber geht 3 Tage und da passiert alles Mögliche.
So, to make this even easier, today we're introducing Media Studio, a VR media management tool where you can upload and publish your immersive and VR native media content. Media Studio, yeah, it's a great way to get your immersive content on the platform.
Schön, es wird wesentlich weniger gejubelt als bei Apple.
Ne? Asset library and get performance analytics about your content. We're already hearing that these tools change the game for our early partners. Like Baobab, their team was able to upload and preview their latest film, Crow the Legend, and distribute it both in and out of VR entirely using the tools in Media Studio. But beyond media, people want all kinds of social activities in VR, just like in the physical world. They want a place that enables endless exploration and empowers
Game News kommen wahrscheinlich auch noch, ne? Wir haben gerade
mal
mal
Facebook Horizon.
15 Minuten und sie kloppen hier News raus wie Sau.
VR world for Oculus Quest and Rift. With Horizon, we're learning from our experience building Facebook Spaces.
Sie haben ja schon gesagt, dass der Shooter von Respawn auch hier zum ersten Mal jetzt gezeigt wird. Bin gespannt.
A place where people can explore, play, create, and connect with others in a vast, thriving virtual world where anything is possible. Where you can drop in for a quick flying game of capture the flag with your college friends that live around the country. Or try your hand at building a tropical island and invite others to come check it out. Or organize a weekly painting session with folks who love art as much as you do. Horizon is launching with a closed beta early next year. Here's what you'll find there. A central, bustling public space where people can gather, meet, and explore great new experiences. Expressive and diverse avatars that let you represent the you choose to be in VR. And magical portals that teleport you and your friends to great new experiences in games. We'll start with a few games built by our team, like Wing Strikers, an aerial team sport. We can't wait to see how these inspire other people to contribute their ideas.
Also das ist jetzt tatsächlich genau dasselbe, was PlayStation Home damals auf der 3 war, ne?
We don't want to build it alone. That's why we're adding world building and creator tools.
Nur, dass man jetzt auch mehr selber gestalten kann. Sehr
now, you modders, builders, creators, and artists can bring your VR visions to life and add new experiences to Horizon. Everything from making a custom t-shirt for your avatar to building complex multiplayer games designed from scratch. We want to give everyone the superpowers to express themselves and create without taking off the headset. We'll even have visual scripting tools so you can build interactions into the experiences you design. It's very exciting.
Index-User sind raus.
And when it's this easy to be creative and express yourself and add new experiences, in Horizon, there is always something new to explore. And of course,
Genau, also
since
ein paar
Horizon
von den
is
Oculus-exklusiven
designed for communities to
AAA-Titeln
thrive, we want it to be welcoming to
werden sie
everyone.
heute sich auch noch zeigen.
We're focused on promoting safe and positive interactions with social tools, like groups and events where you can find people who share your interests. In-product guides to help newcomers learn about the world. Plus built-in reporting, blocking, and moderation tools, so you're always in control of your experience.
Ob das parallel läuft oder? Weil da gibt es ja wieder ein ganz anderes Avatar-System. Schon
But
komisch.
it's worth the effort. And over time, Horizon will get even better, with
Weil
even
für
more
die
to
Quest
explore
eher
and
nicht.
do
Also alle
as communities
AAA-Titel, die
grow
angekündigt sind,
and
sind
thrive.
für Rift.
Because anyone can help
Aber du
us
kannst ja
create this
demnächst
world.
die Quest am PC
We
anschließen
want to
und dann auch
build
die
the
spielen.
next generation of virtual communities together with you. Horizon is launching with a closed beta early next year, but everyone here at OC6 will get an invite to join.
Voodoo kriegt einen Invite.
You'll get an early look at new experiences, see what we're building, and have a chance to create some experiences of your own.
Ooh.
This is the next step on the journey towards VR with people at the center and the worlds that they will build. We'll see you there.
Ja, aber es würde schon Sinn ergeben, wenn
Now,
das
let's look at
alles
how
eines
VR
Tages
is
zusammenläuft,
changing the
ne?
way
Home
we
und das hier.
collaborate and train at work.
Ja, an einem Mac kannst du es nicht anschließen, da läuft ja die Oculus
Every
Software
day
nicht.
at the corporate office, we make decisions that impact the team members at the hotel. So we
Ja, genau.
really
Und der
needed to
Bootcamp
make sure
mit
that our
Windows
corporate
müsste es
team members
gehen.
understand the complexity of working in a hotel. Oculus for Business has really shifted the way we work. We can truly upskill team members faster and really focus on empathy building, which was the game changer for us.
The virtual factory tour became a use case that was a no-brainer. It was, this is what we really need to do. We can now take anybody and we can give them the factory experience.
2100, nicht schlecht.
It's real. I mean, it's a real representation of what the factory looks like.
Besides saving money on
6.000 bei
travel,
Oculus
it's
zu.
the safety factor. This is that ultimate
Bei uns
bridge to break
133.
those
Yay.
barriers down.
Oh man, that was awesome. Fantastic.
Yogi Kossi, ja, hast du verpasst. Die Quest kriegt einen Link offiziell, ist allerdings ein Kabel. Ne? USB-C-Kabel geht zum PC und dann kannst du den PC Oculus Content auf der Quest spielen. Mal sehen, wie sich das ausgehen wird. Ich bin noch unsicher, aber
This is the
es ist schon mal
time
nett.
now for virtual reality, to go at scale, to go large.
Quest opened the floodgates. It's just phenomenal.
Quest is like a superpower. It's completely wild.
This is the moment for VR. And Quest, I truly think, has made that happen.
It is completely wild, isn't it? I see this video and I get chills again and again. From the first day I started working here, all I could think of is how we could harness this technology for work. And not just my work, everybody's work. As a technologist, it was tempting to approach it with an ROI calculator. How much money is saved at the manufacturing plant, at the store, at the office? But looking at how companies use VR today,
ja,
what
die
I
Rift
found
S hat
is that the
ein sehr
impact of
geiles
VR
Display.
goes
Sieht super
beyond
aus.
what can be easily
Da
measured.
siehst du eigentlich kein SDE mehr.
With
Das ist
VR,
schon sehr geil.
employees build empathy for each other and their customers. They strengthen the company's culture, and they become high-performing teams. For example, The teams at Ion Energy, they collaborate across distance. They're being more communicative and more productive. All the Walmart associates that with empathy training are more attuned to the needs of their shoppers. And the claim representatives at Farmers Insurance, the practice to refine their expertise.
Es sind sehr viele Damen, die was erzählen, ne? Aber ist
VR is improving outcomes.
Ist mir auch auf der letzten Apple Keynote aufgefallen. Da hatten sie auch mindestens 3 Damen, die irgendwas erzählt haben.
To tell us more, please welcome my friend Sandra Humbles from the Johnson & Johnson Institute.
Und schon wieder. Sandra.
Have you ever wondered how surgeons learn to become surgeons?
No.
It may come as a surprise to you that the surgical training model hasn't really changed in 100 years. Typically, a surgical resident begins by observing more experienced surgeons, and then gradually they are given more and more autonomy until they can perform on their own. But the reality is, the training model is no longer sustainable, and as technology is accelerating, a surgeon has to learn more and more and more. So with a head for health, a heart for teaching, and a passion for our patients, the Johnson & Johnson Institute is ushering in
Das ist jetzt
a
ein Part
new era
bei
of
Apple, wo sie
modern
mal über die
surgical
Watch erzählen.
training.
Da denke ich auch immer so, komm schon. Nächstes.
We've equipped our facilities all around the world with virtual reality training, so surgeons can learn, rehearse, and master skills on their own time and at their own pace. So they are better prepared to then operate on real patients. So from the start, we knew VR could help our surgeons learn new procedures faster than traditional teaching methods, like watching a video or reading textbooks. Now, we have the backup to show VR's effectiveness.
Hört auf, in Knien rumzubohren, das ist ja eklig.
The Imperial College London conducted a study about VR training modules on the anterior approach to hip surgery to illustrate how you could improve the training at the residency level. I am so proud to be able to present to you today the key findings. 83% of those trained in VR could then go into the lab setting with minimal guidance, whereas none of those traditionally trained Truly, VR is making a difference. Now look here, the higher up on this graph, the better the performance. Again, you'll see those trained in VR completely outperformed the non-trained surgeons in the study. This independent validation of our work is propelling us to now go even further. What we would have thought was nearly impossible just a short while ago is now within our reach.
Komm schon, wir wollen Aliens
thanks to
abschießen.
Oculus.
Bitte.
With the portability of Quest and the support of our development partner, OSSA VR, the Johnson & Johnson Institute will be scaling access to our VR training platform quicker than
Aber
ever
irgendjemand hat das
before.
vorhin gesagt, die Illustrationen sind echt ein bisschen
We want to
strange.
make VR available to every surgeon in every hospital around the world, focused on training the procedures and ensuring our products are used safely
Also schon mal
in a way
sicher,
that's more time efficient,
wir sind alle
cost
per
effective,
se
and measurable.
gute Chirurgen.
So from the surgeon to the
Denn
nurse
wir
to
haben
the
schon
scrub
die Brille.
technician, we will use VR to provide anytime, anywhere training. So together, we will deliver on our mission to support those on the front line of care and help improve patient outcomes around the world. Thank you.
Bitte.
Thank you, Sandra.
Kommt schon, Leute.
These are
Ballerspiele.
just some examples of the enterprise applications that you have pioneered. But it has been hard. The infrastructure to support you, to target this fast-growing market, didn't exist. As the value of VR becomes evident, companies move from wondering if it's worth it to considering the practical implications of adopting it. As one customer recently said, if it doesn't scale, it doesn't matter. So here's where we come in. On the hardware side, with Oculus Go and Oculus Quest, we now have the ideal form factor. It is portable and easy to use in any environment, including businesses. But we also need to meet the demanding requirements of enterprise workflows. Earlier this year, we announced the new Oculus for Business platform. It offers tools to deploy and manage large-scale VR programs. You told us that the solution needed to be scalable, professional, and reliable. So that's what we have built.
Nice. Nächster.
To start, companies need to deal with a large number of headsets, hundreds, thousands of them. Our device setup app allows you to provision many devices at the same time, fast and easy.
Okay.
From there,
Warte auf Applaus.
From there, the device manager is the control center where you can remotely manage all the headsets and applications. You can also monitor and change settings and control software updates. For many people, work will be the first place where they experience VR, and we want to make it as easy and productive as possible. Very soon, as you have heard, we will have hand tracking, a very intuitive way for people to navigate in VR. No need to teach people how to use controllers. We have also designed a new look and feel in the headset. You will get a sleek new app launcher with a simplified menu where only the applications that are approved by the company will be visible. And the headsets can also launch directly into a predefined application. Now, these user and admin features are only part of the solution. Your customers need to know that the data is secure, the interactions are private, and the service is dependable. Facebook has already made headway in the enterprise with Workplace, our collaboration solution. With more than 2 million paid business users, they serve some of the strictest industries,
Uwe,
like
alles
healthcare
richtig gemacht,
and
ey.
banking.
Du hast jetzt schon das Halo-Strap
The
an
data
der
belongs
Quest.
to the companies and is handled with enterprise-grade security standards. We are building on the same infrastructure with the same principles. Companies also need to know, companies also need peace of mind when their business is on the line. So we are providing enterprise-grade customer support. It includes a new help center with a dedicated team to keep operations running. We know that there is a lot more that we can do, so we are not stopping here. We have a full roadmap coming, including an ISV partner program, because we want you to get from opportunity to pilot to deployment faster. We want you to scale your own business. Oculus for Business is in a closed beta
Der Stream
now,
war für 2 Stunden angesagt. Habe ich irgendwo aufgeschnappt. Ich weiß es nicht genau.
Oculus for Business is the first step towards a VR-powered future of work, a future beyond the limits of a 15-inch laptop screen, where new collaboration tools will make us more productive. And your coworkers thousands of miles away will feel as though they are right there next to you.
Also ich hatte gehofft, Sie reden noch ein bisschen über die Games, ne? Aber
will no longer limit our potential.
Deswegen bin ich eigentlich hier.
And now, to bring us back to a fun and exciting present, let's welcome Jason Rubin.
Der hat sich ja die ganze Zeit Games gekümmert in der Vergangenheit. Wurde aber jetzt in eine andere Position versetzt bei Oculus. Ah, guck mal, Special Gaming Initiatives. Okay. Jetzt geht's los, Leute, mit Spielen.
About 4 months ago, we launched Rift S and Quest, and the response has been incredible. Again, consumers are buying them as fast as we can make them. They're returning to VR week after week, and they're buying and experiencing and loving a lot of content. In fact, as Mark said earlier, consumers have spent over $100 million in the Oculus Store to date. $100 million.
Und sie wollen noch mehr.
Quest is accelerating that. We're seeing the first hockey stick bend in VR's adoption curve. So now, if a consumer asks us, is this the time? Should I buy into VR? The answer, without hesitation, is yes. We have an incredible amount of great experiences for you. And we're building more every day. You have questions about our hardware? Read our reviews. And if a developer asks, is this the time where I should be developing for VR? The answer is also absolutely yes. We're building the user base you want. We have the ecosystem you need. We have an incredible form factor. We're going to keep pushing the technical limits. And together, the developers in this room and Facebook are building the content of the future. We're doing this together. Now, this is usually the time in Connect where I would pivot. And I would start talking about the incredible games and experiences
Mert, du bist zu spät. Sie haben die PlayStation VR 2 und alles schon gezeigt.
I love doing that. But, as many of you know, Oculus has a new head of content, and I have a new role. So this year, I have a very short time on stage. He gets to come out here and have all that fun with you.
Prost.
Please welcome Mike Verdu.
Oh. Ja, der ist jetzt verantwortlich für Games bei Oculus. Professor Lustig.
So yes, VR is now. And the future has arrived. But
was für blöde Sprüche.
It is just not very evenly distributed. One of my favorite quotes from William Gibson has never been so true for virtual reality. How many of you remember that? It's a Rift DK1. The future arrived for many of you when you first put that on. And VR, it's been coming to life around us ever since. And for a while, back then, it seemed like the future would break over the world like a wave and it would carry us with it into the promised land. But that's not how it happened. It's taken years. The future came for people one at a time. Fast forward to 2019. There are millions of people entering VR regularly, and we've seen the first VR-only platinum hit, selling more than 1 million units. I mean, that's awesome. VR titles are now racking up sales numbers that are respectable in any other medium. At last, the future has arrived at enough scale that we can actually make a living there. And that's why we can finally say, VR is now.
Hört auf zu labern, zeigt Sachen, Leute. Meine Güte, ey. The future, blah, blah.
This is not happening by magic. The future is arriving because of your creativity, your passion, and your hard work. I've been around the gaming industry long enough to see the birth of multiple platforms, and what made these platforms succeed? Developers and creators like you. So look around
Ist das der Buchmacher?
at your fellow pioneers who have carried the faith. You've been waiting for the world to catch up with you.
Wahrscheinlich ist für ihn VR neu. Now.
You are not early
Letzte Woche haben sie ihn aus der Buchhaltung ins Büro gerufen und gesagt, du bist jetzt der Chef vom Content. Weißt du?
Here are your partners.
Herbert.
We wanted to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with it.
Gerne.
Now let's talk about Oculus Quest, because Quest is bringing the future to a whole lot more people. As you've heard, and as you've seen, no PC, no tethers, no external sensors, and a time to fun measured in seconds. Quest is off to an incredible start, all thanks to the experiences created by all of you. Your hard work is paying off. It's paying off in the metrics that matter to your business. For example, the average attach rate for purchased apps on Quest, higher than any of our other platforms. In fact, in the first month of Quest, more than 80% of Quest buyers purchase content. It's paying off for developers, like the Superhot team, who sold more than 300% more copies for Quest than their Rift launch.
Wenn ihr schon so ein lahmes Zeug erzählt, dann bitte schnell.
Games, who made that first platinum hit. Their Quest launch has been phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Their success is letting them land deals with the likes of Imagine Dragons, and they're on track to deliver more original music and major labels alike. Please join me in celebrating their success by giving a warm welcome to Vladimir Rinchar and Jan Ilowski from Beat Games.
Alter, ey. Wenn die nicht ein neues Spiel am Start haben, dann will ich von denen gerade nichts wissen.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Beat Saber Community.
Und jetzt sagen sie einfach nur, wir haben uns dumm und dusselig verdient. Schönen Dank, schönen Abend. Tschüss.
We initially made Beat Saber just in 3 guys, Jaroslav Beck, me, and Vladimir.
To our surprise, it became quickly a viral hit, played by more than 1 million players all around the world. It shows that a successful VR game can be created even with no budget and no big teams. Virtual reality has so much unexplored potential. It can be a simple and engaging concept, which is inclusive and enables players to feel like superheroes.
This May, we are proud to be one of the launch titles for Quest, and a month later,
Mensch, ärgere dich nicht vorher.
Beat Saber with 360 degrees levels.
Alter.
And we actually think that this new mode might be the best way how to play the game, and it will be available for everyone this December. Yeah. I know that's a bit far from now, but we actually have something great you will enjoy much sooner.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
Panic at the Disco?
We are announcing the new music pack. It's Panic at the Disco.
Ich dreh durch!
It will be out.
Neue Musik für Beat Saber. Achso.
We can't wait for you to try it.
Ich kann auch nicht warten, das auszuprobieren. Wow. Endlich, ne? Nachdem sie einfach nur blöde Hardware-News gesagt haben, endlich neue Songs für Beat Saber.
So much delight to so many players, as are other developers who are finding success in a variety of ways. They create, they refine, they build a loyal fan base, and they deliver value with every update. Just look at BitPlanet Games. They've built a franchise in VR. They shipped Ultra Wings across a variety of VR devices over the last few years, added content through updates, and they built a community. Or Vertical Robot. They cut their teeth on the Unreal Engine for Oculus Go. That experience paid off in Red Matter. It's one of the best looking games on Quest. In just 1 week on Quest, they managed to double their lifetime revenue.
Gibt's nicht Ultra Rings schon für Quest? Doch, ne?
And then there's stress level 0. They've been shipping VR games since the early days, each title bolder than the last. Their upcoming game, Boneworks, is an impressive display of physics and the use of touch. And we're pleased to announce that a new title in the Boneworks universe is coming to Quest next year.
Okay, die Boneworks-Typen machen ein Quest-Spiel in der Übersetzung, ne?
We think gamers on Quest have a ton to look forward to this year and next, thanks to the ingenuity of the people in this room. Here's just a peek at some recent and upcoming titles.
Wings. Half-Life 3. Hä? 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 time is now. The future is coming. Dass es Space Channel 5 wäre PlayStation exklusiv. Interessant. Okay. Kommt auch für die Quest. Interessante Information.
There are more than 100 games and other products slated for Quest by the end of the year, and even more coming in 2020. And speaking of things to look forward to, one of the definitive experiences on Quest has been ILM X Labs' Vader Immortal.
Jetzt zeigt schnell ein paar Bilder und dann kommen wir zu den wichtigen Sachen. Komm schon, Leute.
Where you come face to face with the Sith Lord himself for the first time.
Oh my God.
And you look up and you feel like he's actually there with you.
Ich habe da keinen
Presence
versifften Lord
isn't
gesehen.
just about the feeling that you're in another place. Lord Vader reminds us it's about feeling the presence of others, even virtual characters. We've been delighted with the reception for Vader Immortal. These are press and reviewer quotes, but our users love the experience as well. Our most upvoted user review says, I still can't wipe this stupid grin off my face. I can't wait for
Der Dude ist echt ein bisschen langweilig, ne?
And the team at ILM X Lab has been hard at work at on the next chapter.
Ah ja,
And to
und
tell
die
you more,
Zukunft ist bald und...
I'd like to introduce Jose Perez III and Alyssa Finley.
Heißt der Typ original Josepolis the Third? Da steht es. Jose Perez
We're
3.
excited to be here on behalf of ILM
Das
X
ist
Lab,
echt schräg.
Lucasfilm's immersive entertainment studio, to talk about Vader Immortal Episode 2.
Yeah. The latest episode of this groundbreaking
Habt ihr gehört im
series
Publikum so?
picks up right where the previous one left off, with Darth Vader teaching you the Force. One of virtual reality's greatest strengths is the power of presence, the ability to be transported into different worlds and to connect firsthand with characters you've previously only seen on the screen, to make the transition from storytelling to story living. At its core, Vader Immortal explores one central question. What would it be like for you to be the hero of a Star Wars adventure? And for you to find out firsthand Darth Vader's mysterious plans.
Episode 1 transported you to Mustafar, and it told a new story about an unexplored period in Darth Vader's life. As that story unfolded, you discovered your own lineage, how that tied into Vader's plans. Plus, you trained with a lightsaber in both the episode and the action-packed lightsaber dojo.
In Episode 2, you'll get to explore beneath Vader's castle. You'll get to use the Force, and there will be some incredible plot twists along the way. For a project this ambitious, we knew it would be important to collaborate with the right creative partners. The series brings together Maya Rudolph, who voices Zoe 3, and award-winning writer David S. Goyer, in addition to our incredible team of digital artists, producers, engineers, and designers.
In developing Vader Immortal Episode 2, we wanted to build upon the foundation set in our first installment from both a story and an interactive perspective. In this episode, you're going to discover more about your connection to Mustafar and the mysterious Black Bishop as you traverse the ancient Corvaxian fortress. New creatures, like the Dark Guest, lie in wait below the planet's surface. She's gigantic, she's mad, and she's hungry.
You'll gain a powerful weapon, the Proto-Saber. The unique hilt you see was designed by our teams at Lucasfilm and is an ancient relic that plays a central role in the story.
Das Proto-Saber.
In addition to the narrative experience, we also created Lightsaber Dojo 2. This new dojo allows you to hone your skills with a lightsaber and unleash the power of the Force on your opponents. We're super excited about the new mechanics in the latest dojo. Using only a single button, you will use the Force to stun, pick up, and fling your opponents across the arena. You can even attack enemies from a distance by straight up throwing your lightsaber at them, which is super awesome.
There is There's genuinely nothing like using the Force in virtual reality. Now, when we were here last year, we showed you the first trailer for Episode 1. Today, we are delighted to debut the launch trailer for Vader
Das sind
Immortal
Entwickler,
Episode
in diesem
2.
Fall von
Let's check it out.
ILM, die an Vader Immortal basteln. So, es gibt ein neues Dojo. Ich weiß nicht. Ist okay. Warum nicht? Shit. The journey continues. The future is now.
Follow me and I will instruct you in its ways.
Okay, ich follow you.
You will need the Force if you are to survive the path ahead. Your anger makes you stronger.
Incredible, Captain. How are you doing that?
You can unlock the secrets of life and death.
Wird auf jeden Fall nice, ne?
Defend yourself. Impressive.
Catch me up. I don't understand why you never mentioned that you had the Force.
Don't move.
That's right. Vader Immortal Episode 2 is available right now on the Oculus Store.
Hat sich doch jemand gewünscht, oder? Ab jetzt gibt es das. Sehr gut.
Quest has had a terrific few months.
Sie haben gelernt bei Sony gestern, ne?
PC is still the place for the highest fidelity.
Ich guck gleich mal nach. Also ohne Scheiß.
The launch of Rift S earlier this year continues that legacy. Rift S combines convenience with the raw power of PC.
Ich bin einmal
We
Vader
launched
Immortal
Rift
spielen.
S
Ihr
to
guckt
bring
weiter,
more
okay?
people into VR, and we're excited to see that it's actually working. More than 60% of people activating Rift S are completely new to Oculus. The state of the art for high-fidelity gaming continues to evolve. With the unrivaled power of PC and the Rift platform, gamers can look forward to two of the biggest VR games yet: Asgard's Wrath and Stormland.
Okay.
These are incredible titles that show that VR is now home to gorgeous, full-length games that have all the richness and depth that you'd expect from blockbusters on any other platform. For RPG fans wanting a VR fantasy game to sink their teeth into, Asgard's Wrath offers more than 40 hours of gameplay, and even more if you're a completionist. And Stormland, it offers near endless replayability thanks to its co-op gameplay mechanics and its ever-changing world. We're pleased to announce that Asgard's Wrath and Stormland are launching this fall, and they are
Horizon
available
ist hier
for
schon im Store,
pre-order
Leute.
right now.
Sehr nett. Neuerscheinung.
And everyone here, you're getting these games for free.
Ach so, nur die Leute, die da sind, bekommen es umsonst. Na toll. Horizon hatte schon einen Banner im
And if you
Store,
can't wait until
aber
launch
Vader
to
konnte ich noch
play
nicht
them,
sehen.
they're on the show floor.
Ja, aber nice. Also auf Stormland bin ich wirklich gespannt.
Wanted to end on
Das
something
sieht
special.
fantastisch aus. Jetzt kommt Something
Yeah.
Special. Woo!
Sometimes an opportunity to work on a remarkable project.
Respawn.
Ich
bin echt
2 years
gespannt, Leute.
ago,
Endlich
we
Bilder.
announced a partnership between Oculus Studios and Respawn, creators of the hit games Titanfall, Apex Legends, and the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The team at Respawn has been hard at work, leaning into the creative potential of VR to make an amazing game. One that simultaneously leaps into the future, but also takes Respawn back to its roots.
Call of Duty.
They're ready to reveal what it is.
Ja, wir sind. Leg los,
Not only does it push the action genre in VR forward, but it is a humbling example of
Bitte
what
Leute,
VR
ich möchte
can do
jetzt
for games,
weggeblasen werden.
for
Ja?
players,
Das schuldet
the way
mir
we look
VR.
back on history itself.
Oh nein.
Take a look.
Ich glaube, es wird ein Weltkriegsshooter, hat da irgendjemand schon gesagt, ne? Ja, Weltkrieg 2, okay. Ja, ich hätte gerne einen modernen Warfare gehabt.
With Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, I think we're finally able to fully realize that vision from 20 years ago of putting you in the boots, allow you to see through the eyes of someone who was actually there. And that's been the most exciting and fulfilling part of the project.
There's no moment in this game where like you're just relaxed, right? You're in a war zone.
You are a member of the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services. That allows us to tell a story where the player gets to go to all these incredible places.
Schade, ich hätte Bock gehabt auf einen modernen Krieg. Ja? Ich mag einfach die modernen Waffen lieber. Aber ich glaube, hier kriegen wir das, was wir möchten, so eine Art Call of Duty Kampagne in VR.
Through the power of VR, you're climbing a wall, you're pulling out your gun, you're catching a grenade in midair and throwing it back. Those are all things that you end up doing yourself.
It's exciting and it's terrifying and it's fun and it's cool kind of helping create these experiences for people.
We are making a game about the reality of World War II. So for us, you know, the authenticity was everything.
When you put that headset on, you feel like you're back in World War II era Europe.
It's a very surreal experience to be there without being there.
You're not watching history on a flat screen. You're experiencing history with your own eyes.
We have the opportunity to sit down and interview combat veterans from World War II.
It's very emotional and it's very inspiring. And that's what draws us to dive deep for our characters.
And putting you as the player on an adventure that spans some of the biggest moments of the war.
Medal of Honor franchise immediately gives us something more intimate.
Hätte ich nicht gedacht. Medal of Honor war ja immer so ein bisschen nicht beliebt, die Franchise. Ne? Habe ich gar nicht verstanden. Es gab ganz nette Teile, fand ich.
Having the backing of Respawn and Oculus gives us the ability to push those boundaries in ways that it hasn't been pushed before.
When you see someone play it, when they just kind of lose themselves.
Ich weiß gar nicht, wem die Marke gehört hat.
Pretty impressive.
If the game we're making ignites people's imaginations and illuminates the world, then we've accomplished what we set out to do.
Okay. 22 kommt es. Na gut. Ich hätte jetzt mir noch irgendwas Multiplayer-mäßige Ansage gewünscht, wenn ich ehrlich sein darf. Ha?
Okay, this is going to be fun. Today's VR
Es sah jetzt auch sehr bodenständig aus, ne? Also
But now,
durchdrehen würde ich da auch nicht gerade.
Especially since this has been a magical week for me in that respect, thanks to two wonderful additions to my world.
Okay.
The first is the Control Labs team, who will be joining Facebook Reality Labs to help build the interface of the future. Their EMG technology has exciting potential for delivering natural and intuitive interaction for VR and AR, and I'm delighted to welcome them to FRL.
Ich glaube, das wird schon spaßig.
Is the birth of my first grandson, which has made the future much more tangible to me.
Ich schätze mal, das war's jetzt. Das war das Einzige, was noch offen war. Stormland wird sicher cooler. Stormland sah massiv aus in VR. Und das Gute ist, das Stormland Studio gehört jetzt zu Sony.
That transformative VR future is what I'm going to talk about today. But the past and the present are the keys to the future. So
Titanfall hätte ich mir auch eher gewünscht, ja, auf jeden Fall.
When I was a grad student
Ja,
in
es geht
energy
wieder los, die
management
Future of
policy at
VR.
Penn.
Ist er das selber oder was?
As you can see, I hadn't yet discovered blue button-down shirts. Or, for that matter, personal grooming. What I had discovered was the personal computer in the form of the Vector Graphics VIP. The Vector sported a 4 megahertz processor and a full 56K of memory, which was hot stuff in those days, and I instantly fell in love with the freedom of having an entire computer to myself. Back then, the world we live in was just being born. The IBM PC didn't yet exist. VisiCal could ship for the Apple II the year before, so the first killer app was starting to make progress with early business adopters, but there were only about 2 million personal computers in the world, and most of them were owned by hobbyists, gamers, and enthusiasts. In short, back then, personal computers were more of a novelty than a real thing. But the more I used the Vector, the more I began to believe. So when the IBM PC came out, I walked away from my PhD program to write video games like
Sieht unfassbar geil aus und fantastisch. Was kommt denn jetzt? Ein Oculus Go Game. What the fuck?
I appreciate that because you have no idea how hard it is to make that happen with a few thousand instructions per frame. Writing those games was about the most fun I ever had, although my new direction caused considerable concern among family members who thought I was throwing away my career. That was an entirely reasonable opinion, because in 1982, personal computers hadn't really started to change the world yet. But they would. And because I had had the faith to be there at the beginning, before everything went big, I have had the opportunity to contribute in many ways, from games to operating systems to graphics and more. Never for a moment have I, or anyone else I know from those days, regretted the decision to dive in while it was still early days and help make the future happen. Unless you
50
live through
Spiele
it,
aus
though,
dem
it's
Go
hard to
Store
comprehend just how much
werden
things
auf die
changed
Quest
as the personal
kommen.
computer revolution proceeded. Here's what human-oriented computing looked like when I wrote Cosmic Crusader.
Ich weiß jetzt nicht, wo er hin will mit seiner Ansprache.
Then, here's what it looked like while John and I were working on Quake 15 years later.
Huh?
And finally, here's what human-oriented computing looks like on my work phone now.
Okay.
That is how much a truly revolutionary platform can change things over the years. Okay, back to the present. Let's map today's VR onto that same long-term trend line. VR certainly has as much long-term potential as the personal computer. In fact, I believe it will ultimately become the most powerful creative and collaborative environment that has ever existed, as I'll discuss later. But realizing the full potential of VR will take decades, just as it did with the personal computer. Right now, I'd say VR is clearly farther along than the personal computer was when I wrote Cosmic Crusader, what with Quest and Rift S, a broad and varied app portfolio that includes a million seller, and rapidly emerging enterprise applications, all growing nicely. VR is in a good place right now, and it's easy for us true believers to see where the trend line is headed in the long run. But realistically, we're still pretty close to the beginning of what's going to be one of the great technological revolutions of all time, which is actually awesome. It means
Also ich
that
kann
right
mir
now
nicht
we're in the
vorstellen,
most
dass ich
exciting place. Most of the good stuff is yet to come, and
eine
it's our
Oculus
community
Quest
that's
am
going to make that happen.
PC
But it also means that VR is
lieber
advancing
betreiben
on
möchte
two
als eine
different
Rift S,
timescales.
muss ich mal dazu sagen. Finde ich schon besser, das
In the near
Gerät.
term, the next 5 years or so, VR needs to grow as
Cool
rapidly
ist es
as
halt
possible.
nur,
And that's
wenn
happening
man
in a
die
big way
einen
between
hat
us
und auch
getting
nicht
great headsets
mehr
out
kaufen
there and a
möchte.
strong ecosystem built, and all of you creating the
Hallo,
applications
Achim.
that will take VR into the mainstream. As Jason Rubin said, VR is happening now. At the same time, there's another
Bernd, ich
future
habe
after
Yoga
this
auf
one, the
morgen
next big
verlegt.
step on
Ich habe
that
meine
long-term trend
Lehrerin
line,
gefragt, ob ich
a
morgen kommen
quantum
kann.
leap to a whole different level that will be built on the work all of us are doing today. And when that future arrives, VR will explode the way the personal computer did
guck mal
nearly
zu
40
Sebastian
years
rüber.
ago. VR hasn't changed the world yet, but it will.
2007,
I'm preaching to the
2070
choir.
Zuschauer, okay,
You're working
also
on VR precisely because you believe it will change the world.
Sebastians Kanal
The
läuft
interesting
auch.
question
Wir
is,
sind
when?
145 hier, meine Fresse, Leute.
Well, I have some good news
Nicht
and
schlecht.
some bad news.
Oh, er hat Bad News.
I'll start with the bad news. I've made specific predictions about the timing of that quantum leap twice before at Oculus Connect, and both times I was too optimistic. This year, rather than making yet another prediction, I'm going to invoke Hofstadter's law. It always takes longer than you expect, even when you take into account Hofstadter's law. The honest truth is, I don't know when you're going to be able to buy the magical headset I described last year. VR will continue to evolve nicely, but my full vision for next generation VR is going to take longer. How much longer? I don't know. Let's just say not anytime soon. Turning breakthrough technology into products is just hard.
Guck mal nach Vader.
So that's the bad news. But then there's the good news. That quantum leap into the future is still coming, and we at FRL are making it happen as fast as we can. So what exactly will that future look like? If we're talking about the long-term future, that's easy. VR AR is, in my opinion, going to be the most significant technology of the next 50 years, just as personal and mobile computing have come to dominate our lives over the 46 years since the first personal computer, the Alto, was built at the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center. Xerox PARC started a revolution that ultimately led to every one of us either interacting with or being just seconds away from the virtual world almost every waking minute. That virtual world has touched nearly every corner of our lives, but there's one great limitation. We interact with it almost exclusively through two-dimensional interfaces, along with very limited audio. If you think of a human as a CPU with memory, input, and output, admittedly, not the most romantic framing, but accurate, then it becomes clear that the data received on the inputs, our senses, and the actions induced by the outputs, our motor controls, must define the full range of experiences that we can have in the world. Given that, our lives are enhanced if we can bring more useful information to our senses and perform actions that have more useful effects, resulting in better, more satisfying experiences, which is precisely why virtually every one of you has a smartphone with you right now. But relative to what you're capable of, that smartphone is a very low bandwidth channel. In contrast, VR and AR have the potential to give us all the bandwidth we can handle in the ways we're built to use it, and that will let us do more of what makes us human, especially socially. That's the fundamental reason why I believe VR AR will be the dominant technology of our lifetime across the full sweep of our digital lives, games, of course, but also so much more, as I'll touch on later. So to me, it's easy to predict that awesome long-term future. Predicting the next generation of VR is harder. I'm happy to share my thoughts with you, but there are all sorts of opinions about what the future of VR will be, and opinions are a dime a dozen. The most useful way to learn something meaningful about what's coming is to live by Alan Kay's great quote. The best way to predict the future is to invent it.
Ja,
That's
Vader
what we're doing at
Immortal
FRL,
Episode
and I
2
view these
ist
talks at
da.
Oculus Connect as our yearly postcards from the future of VR. Today's postcard will share some of the
3,6
recent
Gigabyte,
progress
Leute.
we've made on inventing the future in optics, machine perception, and avatars. What I'm about to share is actual working prototype technology, not mocked-up demos or concept art. Let's start by following up on
Vader
Verifocal
Immortal
and the
2
Half-Dome prototype,
ist
last
jetzt
seen
im
at F8
deutschen
more than a year
Store.
ago.
9,99,
The headset we
3,6
shared at
Gigabyte.
F8 was the result of several years of research
guck mal
and
hier, Half-Dome.
prototyping of advanced display systems. Half-Dome was our first prototype to achieve 2 milestones. First, using Fresnel lenses, it supported a 140-degree field of view. Second, by physically moving the screens based on eye tracking, it changed the focal depth and kept the image sharp even when inspecting close objects. Today, I'm pleased to be able to share a new varifocal concept prototype, Half-Dome 2, built by our display systems research team working closely with several other teams across FRL. Unlike the original Half-Dome, Half-Dome 2 is targeted primarily at ergonomics and comfort, both visual and physical. The new prototype is substantially smaller and lighter than Half-Dome, largely because our optics team has managed to fold the optical path into a very small volume. Overall, we've been able to improve form factor substantially and reduce weight by a full 200 grams over Half-Dome. The trade-off for that increased comfort is that the field of view is narrower than Half-Dome, although still 20% wider than Quest. The varifocal hardware has
Medal
also been
of Honor wird
considerably
exklusiv für
improved,
Oculus
so let's
sein.
take a quick look at that. Varifocal now relies on voice coil actuators and flexure hinge arrays, eliminating any points of sliding or rolling contact between the moving screen and the pod assembly. This improves on the original Half Dome by reducing noise and vibration to imperceptible levels. All in all, Half Dome 2 continues the trajectory of Half Dome toward more immersive and comfortable VR displays.
Stormland gibt's noch für
But
Rift.
there's more. As I said earlier, we're inventing as fast as we can, so I'm delighted to be able to share our first electronic varifocal system, Half Dome 3. We've replaced all moving parts in Half Dome 2 with a thin stack of liquid crystal lenses. Let's take a look at a prototype module to understand how electronic varifocal works. The next few images will be recorded through the electronic varifocal module you see here. This is a real camera shot. Each liquid crystal lens can be turned on and off to alternate between two focal states. Here we indicate that a lens is on by highlighting it in orange. When the lens is turned off, the focus shifts to the far object. And then, when the lens turns back on, it shifts to the near object again. As you can see, a single liquid crystal lens makes a great pair of digital bifocals, shifting focus between two depths. To achieve smooth varifocal, we address the full stack of liquid crystal lenses, with each additional pair doubling the number of focal planes. In this example, 6 liquid crystal lenses are driven to sweep through 64 focal planes, and you can see the focal depth smoothly changing at the right as we cycle through different sets of lens states. In addition to having no moving parts, this approach allows significantly better form factor compared to its predecessors. Here, we compare our new electronic module to the original Half Dome assembly and see that there's a considerable reduction in size.
Nicht schlecht. Obwohl mir noch nicht ganz klar ist, was dieses Fokus-Ding dann in der Realität
When
macht.
we integrate the electronic module into a complete prototype headset, it defines a new state of the art.
Aber guckt
for
euch mal das
VR
Headset an,
ergonomics.
das sieht total nett aus, wie so eine Skibrille.
This is still very much research today, but here's a view through an early Half Dome 3 prototype. As you can see, without varifocal, the cassette gets blurry up close. But the electronic approach is able to replicate the smooth varifocal experience of mechanical systems at all depths, a promising sign for the future. If you'd like to know more about our varifocal work, we'll be putting up a deep dive blog post today.
Ich mag die Optik von diesem
As
Prototypen, der
important
sieht
as
richtig
visual
cool aus.
quality is, a great display is just one key component of a compelling VR system. Computer vision, a part of what we call machine perception, is another essential element of the VR experience. For starters, the ability to localize the headset in the real world with great reliability and accuracy so that virtual objects are rock solid is what makes the virtual world seem real. That's not all, though. The ability to detect and reconstruct the real world and import parts of it as desired enables mixed reality. That is, mixing and matching of real and virtual in VR, so that you could, for example, bring a real keyboard, mouse, and desk into your virtual workspace and use them as easily as you would in the real world. Reconstruction also enables social teleportation, which lets you share your surroundings with another person or jump into someone else's part of the world, as we saw in Boz's talk. And
Hi,
of course,
Vincenzo.
it's the foundation of live maps. Let's look at some of the recent progress from our Surreal team on reconstruction.
Nee, Storm kommt nicht für die Quest, aber du kannst das Oculus PC Store
I want to
Zeug
emphasize that what
demnächst
you're
auf der
seeing
Quest
is the
spielen.
real
Also
thing with no
irgendwie ja.
smoke and mirrors. This is faces generated by state-of-the-art reconstruction technology.
Krass. Es ist alles 3D gescannt. Aha.
I think this is absolutely amazing.
Übrigens, mittlerweile gucken 15.000 Leute zu. Ich weiß nicht, warum die jetzt erst alle kommen.
If you can imagine stepping into one of
Als
those
wir das letzte Mal
and just
geguckt haben,
being in
war
it,
es
this phenomenal
6.000. Das
level
war
of
interessant.
reconstruction will enable extraordinarily high-quality mixed reality experiences. Once you have a reconstruction, you can do whatever you want with it.
Ich habe meinen PC im Büro angeschaltet, der lädt. Der hat gerendert heute tagsüber. Ich kann den Remote erreichen und weder runterladen und dann kann ich es gleich morgens spielen. Also ich habe mehr Bock auf dem PC zu spielen, weil ich es da entspannter aufzeichnen kann, ne, als auf der Quest. Das ist ein bisschen anstrengender. Na, guck mal hier, und hier ist das Wohnzimmer von vorhin. Ne? Auch in 3D eingescannt. Sieht ganz gut aus.
Rock-solid mixed reality is a key part of the future of VR, but there's still something missing, and that's people. We need to add truly convincing avatars to make VR ubiquitous because, as Yasser Sheikh from our Pittsburgh lab puts it, proximity determines social relationships.
Der Stream läuft jetzt, also meiner läuft jetzt 2 Stunden, aber der Oculus Stream seit 1 Stunde 47.
But the technology we're developing has the potential to be the next best thing. Let's take a look at where we are with some of that.
Ich weiß nicht, mit was für einer Technologie das 3D-Scanning gemacht wird.
Last year, with a codec avatar head shown next to actual video of Steven speaking.
Good morrow to you, my boy. It's healthier to cook without sugar. Thank you, she said, dusting herself off.
That's amazingly realistic. But the level of expressiveness is pretty low. And expressiveness is perhaps the most critical part of social interaction. One of the important advances over the last year has been capturing more of that, as you can see in this next video. Here, Kevin's facial animation is being driven in real time entirely by cameras mounted in the headset.
Auch interessant für die Zukunft, ne? Wenn wir in der Oasis rumlaufen wollen.
Of course, facial expressions only matter if you're interacting with someone. As you watch the next video, you can see Yasser and Danny wearing headsets in the real-world video in the corners. The faces in the center are avatars. And again, they're animated in real time entirely from cameras in the headset.
Well, what can your face do? Can you show us?
Well, I've always hoped you would ask me that question. So I have some pretty good, I think, mouth movement.
How about your eyes? Can you look left, right, up, down? Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be surprised. I think one of my favorites is puffing my cheeks.
Also für alle, die es nicht gepeilt haben, die haben VR-Headsets auch. Da drin sind Kameras, die tracken deren Gesichter und übertragen das auf 3D-Avatare. Ja? Also eure ganze Mimik und Augenbewegungen können mit solcher Technologie eines Tages in eure virtuelle Umgebung übertragen werden. Klingt jetzt vielleicht noch ein bisschen bescheuert, ist aber nach hinten hin sehr, sehr wichtig, damit ihr irgendwann in der Oasis mit den Leuten reden könnt. Ja? Sehr gut, sehr geil. Interessant zu wissen, dass sie an so einem Zeug sitzen. Ist echt krass.
So I'd like to share an initial step toward codec avatar bodies with you.
A codec avatar is a digital representation of a person. And so we build these to look like us, move like us, sound like us. And the purpose of it is to be able to connect people across distances.
Again, this is just a first step. What you saw was generated offline, not in real time, although it will become real time in the not too distant future, but it's promising.
Not too
All
distant
this is still
future.
research with a lot left to do, but codec avatars have certainly come a long way. I think the 3 research areas we just looked at are pretty cool, but where this really gets exciting is when the pieces start coming together. If you put codec avatars together with reconstruction, you start to get true social teleportation, where anyone can be with anyone else, wherever they want, working with a mix of real and virtual. Let's take a very early peek at what that would be like. To set the stage, here's this is the stage in which codec avatar data is captured initially. This is where we put people in, we capture the information, and now we've done a reconstruction of that space so that now we can put a codec avatar in it.
We wish to spend time with and not be restricted only to those people who live close by. That's the promise of it. And this is research work that we've done right here in FRL Pittsburgh. I hope you enjoy the demo that you've seen, and we all look forward to what the future brings. Thank you.
Again, there's a long way to go, but this is a genuine glimpse of the future.
Nicht schlecht,
It's going
Leute.
to take all the innovative technology we just saw and a lot more to make the leap to the next generation of VR. But there's more to it than that. There's an important lesson that we can learn from Xerox PARC here. The park researchers invented a wide range of revolutionary technologies, from the laser printer to the bitmap windowing interface to WYSIWYG word processing to object-oriented programming. If that was all they had done, they would have been wildly successful. But they also integrated all of that into the Alto, and that is what changed the world. Similarly, new VR technologies will need to be woven together into a complete, tightly integrated platform in order to make that quantum leap. It's the sum of the parts that will deliver that breakthrough experience, not technologies in isolation, as we started to see when we put the codec avatar in a reconstructed environment. Which brings us to the question of exactly what that integrated next-generation platform will be. Rather than starting with technology, I'm going to approach that question from the perspective of what overall user experience we'd want the platform to deliver. And here, I'm going to return to a theme I've talked about before, my desire for a virtual collaborative workspace. For 5 years now, I've been wishing for a VR workspace that I could configure any way I wanted, with monitor-quality virtual screens, holograms, whiteboards, and whatever, saving and switching between configurations with a click. Throw in the ability to interact with my real surroundings and use a keyboard and mouse, and that would be a great work environment. And then, if I could share virtual spaces with other people, it would become an amazingly productive collaborative environment as well. And while I'm at it, it'd be great to have the ability to manipulate both real and virtual objects with my hands, complete with haptic feedback. I would use that in a heartbeat, and I believe that it would spread like wildfire, the way personal computers did back in the day. Even better, the hardware-software stacks and the overall platform needed to enable the full range of uses for that virtual collaborative workspace are so broad and general that they'd enable a vast space of applications and a flood of creativity across gaming, entertainment, communication, education, and productivity.
Leute, ich muss mal total dringend auf Toilette. Ich bin gleich wieder da.
I am highly confident that a great virtual collaborative workspace would open the door to the entire next generation of VR, which in turn would unlock human potential on a massive scale. What would it take to make that collaborative workspace a reality? Well, without question, we'd need enough resolution and good enough image quality so that virtual monitors were at parity with real monitors. That would require very high-res displays and much improved optics. I personally think visual acuity needs to be 20/20 or better, but that's just the start. We'd also need the ability to render at that high resolution and to either do that with a mobile GPU or transmit the data over a wireless link. And that very likely means we would need foveated rendering, which may mean we need a new graphics pipeline and would certainly mean we need great eye tracking. Next, we would need excellent real-time mixed reality so that we could be aware of the world around us and move about and interact with our desk, chair, keyboard, mouse, and other surroundings. We would also want to have persistent, shareable virtual objects in the world so that we could, for example, set up a customized team workroom or work on tech art or some code with a teammate. To do that, we would need a localized version of the live maps technology that Boz talked about. That is, a private live map of our local physical surroundings. We would also need to be able to see our hands and our body in order to truly be present in the virtual world. And we'd want to do more than just look at our hands. We'd want to use them as the intuitive, highly dexterous manipulators that they are in the real world. So we'd want both haptic gloves and hands so accurate that we can interact with both the real and virtual worlds flawlessly in mixed reality. And if we're going to be doing work with our hands, we'd want clear and comfortable vision within arm's length for hours of use per day, exactly what Varifocal is designed to deliver. We'd also want proper spatialization and propagation of virtual sounds.
Ja, komisch, ne? Die Zuschauer waren tatsächlich gerade auf 30.000. Echt strange.
For collaborative work, we'd obviously want the compelling avatars we discussed earlier, and we'd need accurate real-time face, hand, eye, and body motion, as well as highly realistic appearance. Less obviously, we'd need a wider field of view so that everyone in a meeting could see everyone else. That's essential for social interaction, as are voices that sound like they're coming from the right people in the right places. We'd want to be able to share our real environments with each other, both for social purposes and because physical objects will often be important to the discussion. And we'd want to wrap all this up with great ergonomics to make it comfortable to be in VR for hours at a time. And that would require making everything I've discussed compact and power efficient. And then we'd finally have the complete platform that my dream workspace could be built on.
2153.
Which I think we can all agree would be pretty awesome. But how do we get from here to there? Well, FRL has been pushing the envelope for the last 5 years on everything I just talked about. we've been focused on bootstrapping individual areas, like the hand tracking Mark talked about, which originated as FRL research, because that's what it took to get to next generation technology. Now that we've built many of the pieces, though, it's time to start putting the full platform together. To paraphrase Alan Kay, the best way to predict the next generation of VR is to build it. And FRL's mission is to
Das
build
mit dem
time
Chat ist man nur, wenn ich
machines
umschalte,
that let
dann
us
holt er den
peer
ganzen
as far
Chat
as possible into
nach.
the future.
Also,
So just as
täuscht.
Xerox PARC built the Alto and showed the way to the future of the personal computer, FRL is going to build a true next-generation concept prototype with the objective of showing the way to the long-term future of VR. This prototype is going to be aimed squarely at collaborative virtual workspaces with the objective of enabling fully remote work that has all the benefits of working in an office, in addition to the pluses of both virtual and remote work.
Mein Traum, ne? Nur noch zu Hause
One
sitzen
reason we're making remote work the North Star is
und
because it's a great way
remote
to connect
in
people in
einem
VR,
großen
and
Office
connecting people
arbeiten.
is what Facebook is all about. Another reason is that making remote work really effective would have a hugely positive effect on how we live. Imagine what it would mean if you could work remotely as effectively as in person, or someday, maybe even more effectively, because you could have collaboration tools in the virtual world that could never exist in the real world. People wouldn't need to live near where they work. They could live near family, or where housing is affordable, or just wherever appeals to them. Commutes would vanish, and there would be dramatically fewer business trips with huge energy and environmental benefits. Companies would be able to tap into talent around the world, and the ability of talented people to find meaningful, high-paying work would no longer be determined by where they happen to have been born. That is truly a future that defies distance, and that by itself would be more than enough motivation. But there's yet another reason for building this prototype, and that's that a collaborative virtual workspace is something we in FRL
Genau, wir haben 134 Zuschauer momentan, 71 Daumen. Leute, da geht doch noch was.
Feedback cycle with them, and how better to do that than building something for yourself. So the key metric for our prototype will be whether we find we choose to use it for hours a day to do real work. If we find it that useful, so too will millions of other information workers, most likely including you. The long-term potential of next-generation VR is tremendously exciting, but I want to be really clear that this is still high-risk research. At best, it will take years to get to a prototype that proves out the concept. And Hofstadter was right. It always takes longer than you think, and that's especially true for turning research into something usable. So there's exciting potential for that quantum leap down the road, but for the foreseeable future, VR will be all about the Quest generation. Again, VR is happening now. Anyway, however long it takes to build that compelling next-generation prototype, we will keep at it until we get there.
Diese Illustration macht mich ein bisschen fertig. Guck mal, ein schwebender Teddy.
Now
Was soll denn
again,
das?
this will be a prototype, not a product. You won't be able to buy it. It won't be sleek or affordable or highly manufacturable or as durable as a consumer product needs to be. It will surely come up short of my wish list in some respects. That's okay. It just needs to be good enough to show the way to the next generation of VR. The Alto was limited, slow, and expensive, and it never became a product. But it showed that the personal computer could empower people to do new, highly compelling things, and that was enough to point the way to the Mac and Windows and everything that followed. So the virtual collaborative workspace is just a starting point, a catalyst. Like the personal computer, the next generation of VR will be a broad, general platform that enables a vast range of uses. Some of these will be improved versions of familiar things, but many of them haven't even been imagined yet. Whatever those applications are, I'm confident that the next generation platform will make VR a part of daily life for tens and then hundreds of millions of people, and will
Die
begin to
Dummies
change the
zocken.
way we
Nee,
work,
die
the way we
die
connect,
Rift-Spiele kommen nicht
the way we live.
für Quest, aber du kannst die Quest demnächst am PC anschließen
So
und
VR is
alle
going to shape the
Rift-Sachen
world my
spielen.
grandson will live in, but it's going to be a decades-long journey to that promised land, and it will take all of us to get there. The next leg of that journey will be built on the work all of you true believers are doing.
Es kommt nicht die Power über das USB, da wird nur das Bildsignal übertragen vom PC, ganz
The
simpel.
underlying platform forward.
Genau.
And whenever it is that next generation platform does finally see the light of day, you will be the ones poised to use it to change the world. And your faith in these early days will be rewarded at a scale that's hard to imagine today. Cosmic Crusader was a labor of love. It only sold a few thousand copies, so I certainly didn't do it for the money. But it was the start of a path that 15 years later led to co-writing a game that tens of millions of people would play, and that would be the template for a whole genre that's still going strong more than 20 years later. You too will have that sort of experience one day with VR.
Ist aber
In
eine
the
nette
meantime,
Ansprache, muss ich
we're all
sagen. Ne?
going to have the adventure of a lifetime. It'll take a little more time than I thought to get to the next generation of VR, but that just means that these are going to be the good old days for longer. And these truly are the good old days. It just doesn't get any better than being there at the start and getting to create the future. And we are
Nein,
all
morgen muss ich dann zum
unbelievably
Yoga.
lucky
Das
to
kann
have
dann
the
nicht nochmal
opportunity
verschoben
to do
werden.
exactly that.
Letzte Chance, Donnerstag. Braucht man dann noch die Rift S? Ja, nur wenn du ein bequemeres Headset mit besserem Display möchtest, aber ansonsten nicht mehr, ne?
The future is waiting, just as surely as it was waiting for this kid 37 years ago. Let's go make it happen. Thank you.
Nicht Bad Karma, aber meine alten mürben Knochen freuen sich sehr. Das Live-Video ist zu Ende. Okay, Leute, das war's. Meine Güte. Gucken wir mal bei Sebastian. OMG. Der Chat rennt vorbei. Die sind noch nicht fertig. Sehr geil, Leute. Ja, das war doch nice, oder? Hat doch Spaß gemacht. Also, das ist natürlich nett. Die machen alles gerade richtig, auch bei der Präsentation. Ne? Es gibt tolle Features für die aktuelle Hardware, tolle Verbesserungen. Es gibt so eine kleine Oasis mit Oculus Horizon und sie zeigen auch ein bisschen, woran sie forschen. Das ist natürlich super interessant. Ne? Wow, cool, hat Spaß gemacht. Also sehr, sehr schönes Ding. Finde ich, kann man so machen. Wie ist mit dem Handtracking? Wann soll es kommen und soll es überhaupt kommen? Genau, auch es wird Handtracking geben für Quest und Rift S, schätze ich auch. Wann genau, habe ich jetzt nicht so drauf geachtet. Ich glaube, nächstes Jahr meinten sie, ne? So, jetzt schreibt ihr ganz schön schnell hier. Moment. Oh, er ist fertig, genau. Die Rift auch deutlich leichter und drückt nicht so auf der Nase. Genau, also was Bequemlichkeit angeht, ich sage es ja sehr, sehr gerne und sehr oft, ich bin natürlich totaler Fan von dem Halo-Headstrap der PlayStation VR. Die ist bisher die bequemste Brille, die ich auf hatte. Die Rift S kam da schon nah dran. Ich habe nämlich das Problem, dass ich diese Taucherbrillen Quest, die möchte ich nicht für 6 Stunden tragen, nicht mal für eine. Ja, dann bin ich froh, dass ich die abnehmen kann. Ich finde den Headstrap-Mechanismus der Quest nicht gut. Der gefällt mir nicht, aber das ist kein Beinbruch. Da gibt es jetzt schon Alternativen, die man sich holen kann. Und ich denke mal, in der nächsten Generation oder so werden sie es auch verbessern. Und ehrlich gesagt, Leute, für mich schaut es so aus, dass, also ich glaube, in der Folgegeneration jetzt nach der Quest und Rift S, denke ich mal, wird es ein Headset geben. Also die beiden Stränge werden zusammenwachsen, ja, und dann wird hoffentlich alles kabellos mit einem eingebauten Prozessor sein und man kann es auch am PC betreiben und so weiter und so weiter. Also das, was wir uns eigentlich sowieso alle vorstellen und wünschen. Und es wird immer besser. Ja, ich fand das ganz nett jetzt alles hier von Oculus. Sony hat uns ja da so ein bisschen mit nicht so aufregenden Sachen gestern hinterlassen. Ne? Alles okay, aber war auch so more of the same und kein wirkliches, hier ist die Zukunft. Aber konnte man davon auch nicht erwarten. Jetzt auf der Oculus Connect richten sie sich an alle VR-Entwickler auf der Welt und denen müssen sie natürlich sagen, dass jetzt hier Zukunft ist und dass alles fett ist und dass sie am Start sind. Ne? Das ist wichtig. Und ich finde, das haben sie gut vermittelt. So, Oculus bringt VR richtig krass voran, sagt Stocki. Bin gespannt, war cool, jetzt eine Runde Vader. Mach's gut, ich bin raus, alles klar. Die Quest kann man modifizieren. Muss auch los. Ja, ich glaube, das war jetzt nice. Video ist zu Ende und bleibt auch zu Ende. Alles Weitere werden wir in den nächsten Tagen dann mal so ein bisschen erforschen noch. Also Vader gibt es jetzt sofort für euch alle, könnt ihr euch sofort holen. Und das Horizon werden wir mal beobachten dann demnächst. Das finde ich sehr interessant. Puh, ja, ich finde, es war jetzt deutlich mehr, als ich erwartet habe, das, was die hier rausgetan haben. Tatsächlich witzigerweise, der Shooter von Respawn, von dem ich mir sehr viel erhofft habe, sieht auch nur aus wie ein VR-Spiel. Also, ich glaube, der wird nice, aber es ist jetzt nicht der Oberknaller, den ich mir erhofft habe. Ja, ich habe schon gedacht, dass von Respawn irgendwas rauskommt, was so die Grafik und Präsenz eines aktuellen Call of Duty hat oder so. Ne? Und das sah jetzt ehrlich gesagt aus wie ein Call of Duty 2. Ja, ist okay. Ja, genau. So, ich gucke nochmal, was er so schreibt jetzt zum Abschluss. Freue mich schon auf das nächste Video. Panidrakon kannst du jetzt schon. Panidrakon? Was? Achso, Panidrakon hat gefragt, wird man Steam-Spiele auf der Quest spielen können? Also, tatsächlich geht es jetzt schon mit so Fremdhersteller-Software, aber so okayisch. Ich glaube, die Lösung von Oculus wird gut sein, dies aber mit Kabel, ne? Also nicht per Funk. Und dann könnt ihr auch keine Steam-Spiele spielen, sondern nur Oculus-Spiele aus dem Oculus Store. So. Was sind die Specs für die Quest dann? Was sind die Specs für die Quest dann? Die Frage verstehe ich nicht. Die Specs für die Quest bleiben ja dieselben wie immer, ne? Hab's erfasst. Was ist mit Vader? Sichtwechsel. Vader Immortal 2 ab jetzt im Store für Rift und Quest. Also 128 GB ist ein Muss. Kannst ja auch alte Spiele löschen. Ne? Ja, wenn die PS5 ein Wireless-Headset bringt, dass man der PS5 streamt, wird das bestimmt auch gut. Aber was ist nur mein Wunschgedanke? Ich weiß auch nicht. Ich finde das gar nicht so weit weg von der Realität. Ne? Also mal gucken. Episode 2 gibt es schon. Kann man runterladen. Hätte da auch mehr erhofft. Falsch. Es lebe virtual Desktop. Falsch, es lebe wird der Desktop. Mal gucken. Fridolin sagt Ahoi. Hallo Fridolin, wir machen gerade Feierabend. Schön, dass du vorbeikommst. Also lohnt sich die Quest mehr oder wie? Ja, auf jeden Fall. Also durch die neuen Informationen hier von der Oculus Quest ist die, von der Oculus Connect, Entschuldigung, 6 ist die Quest auf jeden Fall im super Fokus von Oculus auch und kann jetzt an einem PC angeschlossen werden demnächst, allerdings mit einem Kabel. Würde mich aber nicht wundern, wenn sie da auch noch irgendeine Funklösung nachschieben oder so. Ne? Das war jetzt wirklich die Frage. Sie kannibalisieren jetzt dadurch die Rift S so ziemlich, aber ich weiß auch nicht. Ich weiß auch nicht, was sie vorhaben. Ja, mal gucken. Wahrscheinlich in PC-Betrieb für die Vive Pro selbe Auflösung. Aber man weiß nicht, was sie noch fummeln, wenn die Schnittstelle erstmal offen ist. Genau. Da wird bestimmt aber einer was für Sidequests programmieren, dass du Steam-Spiele dann spielen kannst. Kann ich mir auch vorstellen. Gibt es ja jetzt schon Lösungen. Ne? Hab gerade auch Feierabend gemacht auf dem Weg heim. Ach so, der Fridolin. Mit Virtual Desktop kann man Steam-Spiele spielen. Warum soll das via Kabel nicht auch gehen? Ich glaube, ja, man kann es spielen. Ne? Die Frage ist nur, ob man es möchte mit Delay und so weiter und so weiter. Ne? Ich glaube, für schnelle Action-Spiele ist das immer noch keine perfekte Variante. Schau mir das VD an. Tara, hi Mo, alle zusammen. Ich wünsche mir, dass im Kabel-Mode der Quest dann die Hertz von 20 auf 80 geht. Das glaube ich nicht. Ne? Ich glaube, das ist ja eine Limitierung der Display-Technologie in der Quest. Also da würde ich nicht mit rechnen, Tara. Das muss ich dir ein bisschen dämpfen jetzt. Gesichtscanner, Handtracking, Facebook Horizon, Quest am PC. Das fand ich bisher sehr spannend. Alles andere war für mich so Randinfos. Und Handtracking wird nur für Quest kommen oder auch für Rift. Ja, also ich wüsste nicht, warum das jetzt nur für Quest kommen sollte. Ja? Die Rift hat ja genau dieselben Kameras. Also ich denke, das wird auch für die Rift S kommen. Ist ja sehr ähnliche Technologie. Sichtwechsel. Quest ist für mich keine Option. Die Halterung der Quest ist für mich nach kurzer Zeit unbequem. Genau, das ist sie für mich auch. Ist jetzt kein Dealbreaker, aber deswegen wäre am PC für mich die Rift S auch immer noch die bessere Wahl, auch weil sie ein wesentlich geileres Display hat. Aber ich kann verstehen, wenn man sagt, ey, ich gebe aber nur einmal 450 € raus oder in meinem Fall 550 € so, und dann nicht nochmal für ein zweites Headset, dann hat man hiermit jetzt auch eine interessante Alternative für den PC. Ja? Also warum nicht? Ich finde es super. Hätten sie von Anfang an so machen können. Also es ist gut. Ja, Spark ging nicht so toll mit der Quest. Ja, genau. Also Sachen, wo es echt auf Response angeht, die schaffen diese zusammengefrickelten Hobby Steam-to-Quest-Geschichten einfach momentan noch nicht. Mit Virtual Desktop hat man ja nur wegen dem WLAN das Delay, aber USB-C macht 20, also gibt es da kein Delay. Genau. 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 Und das wird ja mit dem Link-Kabel dann geliefert von Oculus. Aber du hast recht, sicher werden dann auch die Burschen, die gerade diese Virtual Desktop-Sachen machen und so, eigentlich dann auch eine Lösung für Steam anbieten können. Auf jeden Fall spricht nichts dagegen. Höhere Herzrate kann auch ein Hitzeproblem werden. Die Halterung ist nur unbequem, weil 80% der Leute das Ding falsch aufsetzen. Aha, die Quest kann... Nee, ist sie nicht. Da muss ich jetzt widersprechen. Dieses Ding hängt dir vorne am Gesicht. Das ist unbequem. Ja? Egal wie du die Halterung aufsetzt, damit kannst du den Effekt vielleicht verbessern, wenn du es richtig aufsetzt. Aber das Ding hängt dir vorne am Gesicht. Das ist nicht die beste Methode, ein VR-Headset aufzusetzen. Und das ist nun mal so. Da mussten sie natürlich aus Kostengründen gucken, ja, was ist eine gute Alternative nehmen. Finde ich alles okay in dem Set, wie man es kaufen kann. Aber das ist definitiv nicht die beste Art und Weise, eine VR-Brille zu tragen. Genau, aber wenn man es hart auf hart kommen lässt, dann kann man sich die natürlich modden, muss man dann wissen, ne, was einem am wichtigsten ist. Wenn ihr euch fragt, wie man eine Quest aufsetzt, fragt Vulcanize. Der weiß es. Ja, weil du es falsch aufsetzt. Ey, wie kann man es dann noch mehr aufsetzen als aufsetzen? Lass mal gut sein. Ich habe eine PlayStation VR, die kann ich 6 Stunden tragen. Da musste mir niemand erklären, wie ich es aufsetze. Also vermute ich, der Fehler liegt da nicht an mir. Ja? Und wie gesagt, das Ding hängt dir in der Fresse. Ich habe schon Leute erlebt, die auch sagen, scheiße, ich würde gerne weitermachen, aber ich kann es nicht mehr ertragen. Und das ist nun mal eine Tatsache, die kann man auch nicht schön reden. Na gut, Leute. Dann kann man das, wie auch immer, also ja, wenn man irgendwie tut und macht und guckt und bla, aber wie gesagt, es gibt Brillen, die kann man einfach aufsetzen und die fühlen sich super an. Das ist doch jetzt auch leider nichts wegzudiskutieren. Und ich rede jetzt noch nicht mal von der PlayStation VR. Ja? Ich habe schon reichlich aufgehabt und die Quest steht da in meiner Liste wirklich, wirklich ziemlich weit unten. Ich finde sogar die gute alte Rift, die ja auch nur so ein Taucherbrillen-Ding hat, dadurch, dass sie viel leichter ist, lässt auch die sich besser tragen. Doch, ja, die Quest ist ganz unten in der Liste bei mir. Aber sie hat halt den Vorteil, dass sie kabellos ist, ja, und das ist fantastisch. Also sie hat auf jeden Fall trotzdem genügend super interessante Sachen, dass es ein fantastisches Headset ist. So. Kommt bei der Quest auch auf die Kopfhörer an. So, Kinder. So, ich streame jetzt schon wieder seit 2 Stunden und 40. Wir lassen es jetzt mal gut sein, ne? Das war alles sehr interessant. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet sehr, sehr viel Spaß. Mir hat das sehr viel Freude gemacht. Ja. Ich finde, für VR-Enthusiasten war heute hier wirklich was los. Ja. Da konnte man Spaß dran haben. Und ihr könnt euch dann gerne noch weiter drüber diskutieren, welches Headset irgendwie das bessere Display und die bessere Aufhängung hat, ist mir nämlich Lumski. Am besten ist mir das, was man gerade hatte, wenn man damit zufrieden ist. Voila. Macht's gut, ne? Guck mal, wie viele noch sind. Guck mal, 94 Leute sind wir nur noch. Dann können wir jetzt auch dicht machen. Ich hoffe, euch hat das gefallen. Ich hoffe, ihr lasst netterweise auch noch einen kleinen Daumen für mich da. Und wenn ihr Lust habt, könnt ihr den Kanal natürlich abonnieren, aber seid nicht enttäuscht, ich rede hier immer nur über VR. So schaut's aus. Ja? Kinders und Kinderinnen. Ich schalte jetzt hier den Hahn ab. Ich drehe das Wasser ab. Ich bin raus angeln, sagt Vulkan. Sehr gut. Macht's gut, ne? Ich spiele euch nochmal die Abschiedsmusik hier. Pass auf. Dann. Macht's gut, bye bye. Jetzt drücke ich den Knopf. Tschüss.